Welcome to Shawnee Grows on this Saturday night. Good evening. Well, I am going to encourage you all to learn as you grow. Tonight's topic is fun and practical gardening resolutions for the new year. Goals, themes, trends for 2025. Team replay. When you're watching, what are your gardening goals for 2025? Tell us in the comments below. Let's see who's in the chat. Dave Knight says hello. I had a delicious salad from my greenhouse for supper. Wonderful. Winter greenhouse growing with Dave. Can you tell us what was in your salad and what your weather temperatures were like? Ms. Sharon, good to see you here. Appreciate your modding skills, as always. Mushroom Mark, aloha. How are you doing? Food, forest, permaculture, Happy New Year's, raid from Foxit Outdoors. Yes, uh, I do have it on subscriber only mode, so if you haven't been subscribed for 20 minutes, you cannot say hi in the chat, but I'm going to say hi to you. I'm sure you're out there. Everybody from Foxit Outdoors. I appreciate you coming over and saying hi. Our weather was 44 today, and it's been raining, which is not normal for December weather here in Minnesota. We are going to have colder weather coming through this next week, though. So we would like to think about and talk about how will you encourage your neighbors or community to start gardening in 2025. So there's different approaches and strategies and ways that we can do this. We're just going to chit chat about them. So our first way is you could host a workshop. Now, maybe you have experience doing this, but if not, let's go over some basic steps on how that would be done. So you can host a workshop in whatever you're, knowledgeable in. If you want to teach people how to do a raised bed gardening, how to start it, how to build it, you could do a seed starting workshop, doing winter sowing or indoor seed starting under lights. You could teach an edible landscaping workshop. Maybe you want to teach creative ways to keep animal pests like deer and rabbits from going into your growing space. So the first one was host a workshop. Richard's here. Hello. I have achieved my this year's goals. My daughter brags about my garden with her mother-in-law. Oh, I love that. It's wonderful. Yeah, that is a good question. Is this year's goals achieved, everybody, for 2024? Another way we can encourage our neighbors and community to start gardening in 2025 is organize a plant swap. So this could be something that happens, one Saturday out of the month. It could be something that just happens once a year. It's where fellow plant owners come together and swap plants. It can be done anywhere, like someone's home, a public park, a community garden, a church or community center, a local business. You have to set some rules for the plant swap, and it can be very simple. Pest-free, beautiful plant, 2 or 3 to trade. It can be potted or bare root. Has anybody ever been to a plant swap? When you are planning a plant swap, you need to kind of gauge the interest. So, you're communicating with the community to see what people would like. Midday on a weekend, evening on a weekday, finding a place to host. We did list some options for that. You can kind of gauge how many people do you think are interested. That determines what size place that you get. If you need some kind of sponsors so you can serve refreshments or, so like food and drink, or just to pay to rent the space. If you're doing ticketing, that's a good way for people to RSVP and figure out a head count. Now, a lot of times, these events are free. Sometimes there's like a $5 at the door sort of situation, and maybe it could be advertise that you're raising money to benefit a community garden. In this case, this one raised over $300. So then you would have partners to help set it up. This is not just a one-person job. I mean, it could be in the beginning if it's super small. And then if you need to sell tickets, promoting the event, you have your social media, you have your local coffee shops, you have your local groups. So if we want to start a community garden, we have to kind of follow some steps with that as well. Does anybody have community gardens in their locale? We have 2, I think, here, and they cost money to rent the space. And the thing I've noticed about them is, man, they are full of weeds. I mean, just every type of weed and pest you can imagine are in them things. So first step to starting a community garden is you need to find available land, right? It needs to have water source. It needs to have decent soil. You need to be able to prepare it or put containers in. Vacant lots are a great option as long as you have permission. I know sometimes you can't have a garden at a church because of certain tax reasons, but there's ways around all of that. Engage your community. We need people to use the garden. Finding resources to support it. So most community gardens cost between $3,750 and $7,500 to start. Wow, that's a big number for a garden. And why is that? Like the gardens we have here, there's no seating or shade cloth or structures. There's like a spigot and a hose option. And then you get your plot, and you can put like a fence up in your little plot if you want. So yeah, raising money, like having the plant swap would help. What to plant in the community garden plot? Well, it depends how you're running it. If everybody has their own square, they choose what's in their square, like how you're selling the space. Like if everyone's getting, I don't know what the size spaces are actually in mine. Prep and build the site. Determine the rules. Rules. They're saying watering schedule, weeding schedule, organic gardening. Is it required for the space? Protecting plots from overspray of chemicals. Well, yeah, we want an organic community garden, right? Maintain and grow your community garden. You can start a club, a gardening club. Has anybody participated in a gardening club? Food, forest, permaculture. Landmates are common ground, church land, native land, family land, villagers' lands, etc. So if you're interested in starting a gardening club in your community, you, this is saying, maybe you could teach people how to grow vegetables on their patio. If you're concerned about environmental issues facing your community, if you wish you knew how to landscape your yard, plant a container garden, or your porch, or make a floral centerpiece for your dinner table, you're going to have to find members. You're going to have to select a meeting place and time, determine the purpose and goals of the club, be organized. And then it's saying to become affiliated with the National Garden Clubs. Now, that's not a requirement by any means. Dave Knight says, I had radish, lettuce, celery, and spinach in a salad, 42 degrees Fahrenheit, low 55. All right. It's a wonderful, nutritious winter salad you got there. Yes, Food Forest Permaculture says, wow. So another way is making a little seed library in your community. So I'm sure you guys have heard of the little libraries where you have books inside of a structure, and the books are free, and you can come and bring some in return when you take some, and they're posted all over in your neighborhood. Well, you can do that with seeds. Now, some people have a seed library at their public library where you can bring in seeds and take seeds as you want. So this was just sharing. Let's see here. Defining what a seed library is. There's a search option if there's one near you. Building, stocking, managing, and educating it. Like, look at how basic this one is. Free seeds. Look at that. It's just a little container and some cardboard, It doesn't have to be a full-on metal structure. So yes, a little free library for seeds. They can be ones from your own garden. They can be ones that you've purchased. Um, it's sort of a wonderful way for people to get started in the garden, because sometimes like that cost up front, people get a little nervous about. Storms, radios, and cats, good evening. Welcome to this. Dave Knight says, we all must adapt to our different climate. That's right. Grow every day in every way. And then, you can always post gardening tips and inspiration on social media. You share just by word of mouth at the coffee shop or when you're getting the mail with people, like, oh, what's that plant you've got going on? So embracing sustainability in your gardening practices is something you can work on in 2025. And ways we can do that is creating a pollinator-friendly garden by planting flowers that attract bees and butterflies. So I have this place that is in my state, and I'm assuming this is an option in most states. But in order to figure that out, you'd have to look locally in your own state, if that makes sense. This is a Heal the Earth Minnesota cooperation where they have plant bundles. So we can pick one and look at what's in it. This one's called Monarch Special. It's talking about you can buy a single tray of milkweed. There's a bunch of different kinds: butterfly, common, swamp, Joe Pye weed, sweet Joe Pye weed, rough blazing star, meadow blazing star, wild bergamot, stiff goldenrod, showy goldenrod, smooth blue aster, New England aster, aromatic aster, sky blue aster, ironweed, and more. So what happens is you get a flat of plants already started and it comes to you in the mail. And then it kind of tells you like plant spacing. Here's all the types again. This kit is for a 40 to 60 square foot area. So it kind of takes the hard decision making and thinking out of it. So if we go back, there's part shade garden, rain garden is the kit that I purchased. Sandy soil, septic mound, tall prairie grass, shorts and tidy, shoreline stabilization, wetland edge, woodland edge, rusty patch bumblebee garden. So it's talking about full sun in a single tray, yarrow, prairie onion, showy milkweed, lance leaf, scoropus, purple prairie clover, coneflower, blanket flower, prairie smoke, meadow blazing star, wild bergamot, golden alexanders. And there's that list again. This is again for a 40 to 60 square foot area. You can also start composting, and there's different ways to do that. You can check out hashtag pathwaysoilbank, which is our friend here in the chat, Food Forest Permaculture, Howie. You can collect rainwater in any form that you want. I do use a rain barrel. So there's a screen on the top that the rain falls through off of a gutter of a metal roof. And at the bottom of the barrel is the faucet that you can turn on and off. There's also just having an open barrel, and like you can see in the weather forecast that it's going to rain. You take your cover off, you let the rain fall into the barrel, put the cover back on. The reason I keep a screen or a cover on it is to keep insects from nesting and laying eggs in there and becoming problematic, and it can keep debris out. And then when you go to use it out of an open barrel, you have your 5-gallon pail, take the lid off, dip your bucket in, put the lid back on. It's super efficient, and rainwater is very beneficial for your plants. You can choose organic fertilizers and pest control methods. So what I have is this book about the Organic Gardener's Handbook of Natural Pest and Disease Control. There is a link in the description to this book. Also in the description is a link to JDOM, which is like Korean natural farming, I believe is the KNF. Very fantastic ways to feed your garden for free. It's like first cut grass, leaf mold, some rainwater. There's more parts to this, but this was just a very basic example. Mix it together, putting it on your plants in a diluted form. Richard says there's a church that has half hectare as a community garden. They're donated water from the next door neighbor from his borehole. Totally wonderful. I donated sacks to the church aunties. I really wish we had more community gardens. I mean, we have so many churches in our town, in our area, that why doesn't each church have a garden? But it comes down to a lot of factors, right? It takes a gardener. Um, it takes someone wanting to volunteer, and we might see not so many people wanting to do the volunteering these days, right? Oh, South Florida Sunshine, hey there. You took the dog out. You have a knot in your upper back and a headache. Oh, oh, oh man. I think you said it was raining there today, which does not help the barometric pressure stress on everybody's body. Did your goals for 2024, were they achieved in your gardening? Is kind of where we're going. We're discussing what are some ways you can help spread the love of gardening in your community and neighborhood. And we were talking about the most recent embrace sustainability in your gardening practices. And sometimes you just need to have a plan, and that helps. There's different ways to have a plan. You can have a garden journal, a calendar. You can have themed gardens with a purpose. So we're going to talk about different themes here in a minute. I just want to say that in January, we will host a live where we're going to go over different types of ways to plan your garden for the year. It can be paper, it can be an app, it can be on the computer, but we're going to kind of see if we can play around with a list of different ones that are out there that are free. I will not be paying for any of the services, but there are options out there of places that you pay and they help you plan your garden for you. So subscribe so you don't miss out on the notification for that. And maybe you want to try growing a new plant variety or reorganize your garden layout. Like Garden Like a Viking is a YouTube channel that I enjoy. Go over there and subscribe and tell him that Shawnee Grows sent you. He had to take his whole backyard garden apart and reconfigure it. And so now it's ready to go for next year. The space looks like it's going to be able to grow twice as much food. Sometimes you just have to redo a space for it to function for you because your needs change. So are there any plants or varieties that you're thinking of growing that are outside of the box? I know someone told me that they were going to grow jicama here in Minnesota, and I didn't realize that was an option, that there's a seed that you can grow jicama. Now I'm pretty sure they started it indoors because I don't know what the amount of days to maturity that is, but wouldn't that be fun? So for garden themes, what that means is there's specific plants possibly in one space, right? Like a postage stamp garden, for example, and they have a purpose. They all work together. So I'm going to go through some fun themes. We have a pizza or salsa garden, which would consist of tomatoes, peppers, onions, basil, cilantro, garlic, chilies, oregano, and sometimes tomatillos for like the green salsa. There's dye gardens, so growing things that you can create a coloring with for different things that you could dye, like clothing. So that would include marigolds, cosmos, I don't know how to say this, coreopsis, indigo leaves, pincushion, rosemary, purple cabbage, carrot tops. I'm pretty sure beets qualify under that. They're a very staining vegetable, and they all would be prepared in different ways. Usually you're putting the plant matter into some water and heating it up so um, that coloring can extract into the liquid, and then you could use the liquid to dye eggs for Easter, clothing. You could create paint in certain ways. I don't know if you're using water to make the paint, and then makeup, natural makeup too. Pizza! I know. I mean, you could even grow the wheat for the dough, right? Sell for the sunshine. Girl, a dye garden. I love that idea. You know, I love my tie-dye. Oh, yes, Miss Sharon, turmeric, definitely. Uh, I I'd like to try growing turmeric here, but it's a thing that I would have to have indoors and then outdoors. Okay, let's see. Coreopsis. Okay, did I say that right? Dave Knight says I want to try BC salmon plants. You know, someone else, if they're in the chat, they'll pipe in right now because they want to, we were talking about that right before the live stream. Okay, so onion skins too. I have used onion skins to dye. And Howie's like, yeah, salmon. Okay, next is a tea garden. That is your chamomile, lemon balm, mint, ginger, echinacea, hibiscus, raspberry leaves, jasmine, rose hips, lavender, calendula. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, my friends. Tea garden, 100%. You can use the flowers or plant matter fresh or dried. Tea is a good drink. We have your herb garden. So if we're just getting into basics, like staples for herbs for your kitchen herb garden, basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, sage, parsley, cilantro, dill, chives, marjoram, chervil, tarragon, summer savory. Anybody work with any of these lovely herbs in their kitchen? There, Mushroom Mark spoke up. Oh, Richard, what is this? The church aunties call me uncle. We're growing potatoes in bags. Ah, 200-pound grain sacks. The aunties take the bags home. Totally accidentally became Uncle Richard Potatoes. Potatoes are a wonderful source of calories and nutrition. South Florida Sunshine says, yes, medicinal tea garden inside is what I want to try. Yes, growing inside is something that I think we all should try, right? We have our small space container garden, which would include cherry tomatoes in a hanging basket per se, some kind of peppers. Strawberries are okay in containers. Blueberries, lettuce, arugula, zucchini, okra. And then you don't forget about your flowers, fuchsia, petunia, verbena, tulips, crocus. I've put narcissus, the daffodils in containers before and they do good. You can actually layer bulbs. Like in one container, you have bulbs that'll bloom in April and then May and then June. So you just stagger them inside in layers. Now, some of them you plant this deep, some of them you plant this deep, but then you have a consistent flower coming out of that container consecutively in the months. You have your salad garden, your lettuce, spinach, arugula, cucumbers, peas, peppers, carrots, tomatoes, radish, whatever you want to put in your salad, you can grow it all together. Whoa, Gardening Warrior made it. Hello. Just don't get a spine garden. South Florida Sunshine. That is great. You doing the yams there? Dice I hear David the Good say this. A lot of what's the first one? Decoria? Desoria? Decoria alata, I think is what he always says. They get as big as a human head, sometimes larger. I'm assuming they grow there with where Richard is. Yeah, it's a concept that I'm not familiar with as well. But hey, we've got a perfumed fragrance garden. So your lilacs, jasmine, lilies, lavender, sage, mint, roses, cloves, peonies, rosemary. We have your stir-fry garden. Bok choy, broccoli, peas, scallions, carrots, beans, peppers, zucchini, and eggplant. Now, that's just like this much of what you can put in a stir-fry, right? These are just basic little theme ideas. Plant in it anything that would work for you, right? It's just to get your mind thinking of how to use your harvest as well, how to have it organized, what to even start planting. Well, what do you want to eat? That's kind of what we're discussing. Discoria. I think I can't spell it, oops, but I can say it. Dave Knight. We may not have the Second Amendment. We do have other liberties in Canada. South Florida sunshine. I can still come up even with this pressure system. Oh, okay. You like read my mind because as I was reading the themes, I'm like, oh, I wonder if that means she's not coming up later. So thank you for clarifying. Once we get through the show, I will post a link for friends to come up and chat. And now Storms is thinking about some stir fry. Now we can do a cocktail brewing garden. And my inspiration for this is a lovely book called The Wild Crafting Brewer, Creating Unique Drinks and Boozy Concoctions from Nature's Ingredients. So it talks about primitive beers, country wines, herbal meads, natural sodas, and more. There is a link in the description to this beautiful book. And in the book, it teaches you what are the main reasons and ways you make a cocktail, your alcoholic drink. You need to have some kind of sugar source, you need to have wild yeast, you need to have, clean filtered water, and you need to have some kind of plant matter, fruits and herbs and roots and stuff. So you can have maple or birch syrup for the sugar source, and that's just one example. There's a whole page of examples, okay? I'm just shortening it up. Elderflower or dandelion flowers or blueberries can be used to create a wild yeast starter. You can take ginger and make a ginger bug or make ginger beer. You can grow hops, lemongrass, horehound, yarrow, nettle, holy basil, pineapple sage, raspberries are all things that you can use to infuse and create a brew. You can grow garnishes for it, so any kind of edible flower and, of course, your mint. You can make a syrup with cherries or strawberries, lavender or elderberries. You can grow apples to make cider or juice, grapes for wine. You could even grow a Bloody Mary patch. You can have your peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, carrots, celery to then juice and turn into your Bloody Mary. All right. South Florida Sunshine is talking about the Puff Puff Pass Amendment. And then I make egg rolls with pulled pork and cabbage, carrots, onions, and all kinds of fun little seasonings. And I love them so much. Storm says, now I wonder if I can grow barley and hops here. Possibly, yes. Mead is wonderful if you are a beekeeper or you know someone. Having that honey is wonderful. Fox at Outdoors. Hey, you can make a comment. Yes, popping in to say hello. Thank you for stopping by the live. Appreciate you. Oh, fizzy drinks. Not great with yeast though. Boo. Right. That is you have to know your body. Okay, Storm says, I wonder where I can find blackberries here. I wonder. Berry, where are the blackberries? Richard says, yeah, Garden Like a Viking does lives every Saturday, like a Q&A style, and during the growing season does post videos, and he's gonna start doing cooking content on another channel that he hasn't started yet. But it's super fascinating to see how other people eat the harvest, and I'm very excited for when he gets that going. Thank you for sharing the link for Foxit. Go ahead, check out his channel. Sharon is amazing. And remember to hit the like, is what she's saying. Dave Knight, I add raspberries to some of my beers. Ooh, really? To the beers? Okay, so what are some plants that you would say are a must-have, Dave Knight, for brewing beer? Because it sounds like you have experience, and I forgot that part. So I have experience with doing like wines or meads, and then I did start I tried like natural sodas for a little bit. I don't have anything brewing right now. Storm says 13 watching, but we're missing out on 6 likes. Come on, folks. It's free to smash the like button or the other button. And if they had an in-between button, you can hit that one too. Let's talk about my gardening goals, shall we? Okay. My goals are for 2025 to create cut flower bouquets, to have succession planting for the ability to harvest food every single week, to incorporate that into our eating, to expand the perennials in the grocery or gardens. I would love to try growing witch hazel, a hazelnut tree. I don't know if I need two of them or not. I haven't looked that up. Plum trees, I need two of them at least. Ramps, which are wild leeks. June berries, a high bush cranberry, and I'd like to start inoculating some logs or spreading spores in some wood chips for things like wine cap mushrooms, morels, and then chicken of the woods. I have to put on, I don't know if it can be on a log or if it has to be a living tree. But those are ones that would grow in Minnesota, so why not start getting them incorporated into our food forest? I would like to be much better at mulching, chopping and dropping, and a foliar feeding schedule with, a blend that I've made. So those are my goals. Richard says, I have grapes called Red Globe making wine. They sound fat and juicy, Richard. South Florida Sunshine, I have Scuppernogs, but they are dormant at the moment. Mushroom Mark says, chicken of the woods, live in tree when found in wild. That's why I'm thinking that it would have to be inoculated on a living tree. Because I can get from North Spore the whatever, the spores. So before I talk about our predictions for my cord for 2025, I kind of want to quickly go over, well, what happened in 2024? What were the trends going on? And maybe you guys have heard about some of these. Oyas. They're that clay pot watering system. So I'll just quickly share. It's something you bury and it can slowly release water in the garden, and they're pretty pricey to buy this version. They have other sizes and places. You can see they're filling it up. It's to help keep water. Now, some people would just bury clay pots, like maybe you have some broken ones. You just like terra preta style, put it in your garden soil. Some people have created their own of these by taking clay pots and like gluing them together and sealing one end. I did not get into it. Let me know if you have Oyas. Another thing would be high density planting. So kind of like square foot gardening, where you have one space and you just maximize, like you shove as much in there as possible. Chaos gardening, which you're like literally like broadcasting or throwing stuff wherever and whatever sticks. Electroculture was trendy in 2024. Gothic themed flowers, the black petals, the blood red petal colors, those were kind of a hit, trendy thing to plant in 2024. Moon gardens, check out South Florida Sunshine's live stream if someone could put the link in the chat for her moon garden breakdown. She went through, what is that? How do you plant one? What does it look like? Medicinal plants were super trendy, and I think that that's going to stay. I don't think that's going to leave with the new year. I think that's going to keep going. Gardening for wellness. So just understanding the mental benefits of the body and the mind when you are a gardener. Having more pollinators and native plants was definitely talked about more in 2024. Dave Knight says the pods of the honey locust tree in the boil adds sweetness and clarity to the beer. All parts of the honey locust tree is edible. Edible? That is fascinating. The pods of the honey locust tree add sweetness and clarity. I love that. That is like pro tip right there. South Florida Sunshine says Whole Foods near me had a wild picked chanterelles, but they were over $24 a container, and I was afraid to pay that for an experiment. Howie had gave us a mushroom tour at a market, like per pound what it costs for some of them. Whew. Storm Traders and Cats has ramps. Oh my. Yeah, they're wild leek. You should be eating those. South Florida Sunshine. Yes, I like high density gardening and polyculture along with chaos and guerrilla gardening. Natives too. Yes. Can you find that live? I can't tell which one it was. Yeah, is this Storms has the South Florida Sunshine live stream where we broke down Moon Garden. And we possibly are going to join together in a future conversation and talk about sensory gardens, children's gardens, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of themes out there that we can look and try and teach you how to build. Yes, the deep dark purples and blacks for flowers and for the anthocyanins in the fruits and veggies. Yes, yes. It was super, like everyone wanted the black hollyhocks and, dark tulips and everything. That was definitely trendy. So let's talk about the future. What are our predictions for gardening trends in 2025? Which garden trends are you most looking forward to? Let's look at an article, shall we? Okay, we're going to talk about 10 trends to watch for in 2025. Look at that picture. I see an arch, I see a bed, I see a chair, I see other structures, the things to vine up. Hope that's not all mint right there. I think that's zinnias. Okay, anyways. Number 1. We have the title, what was the title? Growing micro gardens. There we go. Okay. Apartment dwelling gardeners can maximize their growing space with vertical gardens, standing planters, microgreen kits, hydroponic gardens, raised beds on wheels, container gardens, and windowsill setups. Also green stalks. I have a green stalk and I love it. In 2025, you can grow food in even the tiniest of basement apartments. There is nothing stopping you. Grow food every day in every way. Number 2, year-round gardening. So having an indoor garden under grow lights for the colder months, colder climates, you can extend your growing season with protection like frost cloth, floating row covers, or even cold frames. I have a live stream titled Winter Greenhouse Ideas to check out some ideas for growing outdoors in the winter and what that would look like for you. Carol says thank you to Barry. Trying some stuff to get rid of the headache. Miss Sharon, I didn't think it was that long ago. I know. It was like 2 months, wasn't it? Or Storm says the Moon Garden live stream was saved in one of my private playlists. I forget you can do that. Dave Knight, I can remotely turn on the fans and water from my phone when camping. No way. Tech helping us grow food. Food forest permaculture. First to plant of new soil is a lot of radishes for the nitrogen fixation. After that, it is acidic or alkali soil depending on what you're growing. 4? It was 4 months? You're kidding me, right? What? Where have I been? Okay. 3. Growing sprouts. Who grows sprouts? This is the simplest way to get started growing your own food, and I think more and more of us will grow our own sprouts this year. All you need is a sprout container or a sprouting jar. So like a mason jar, an old peanut butter jar would probably work. Old mayo container. Lots and lots of seeds to sprout, tablespoon. Put it in there, have filtered water, strain it out, rinse it every day. Takes 5 to 7 days. They are filled with nutrients. Check out my short titled Mung Bean Sprouts. Also check out how to grow and harvest sunflower microgreens in my shorts to see how I grow my sprouts. We're talking about glamping. Whoa, 4 months. Yes. Duncan, 1900 Homestead, welcome to the live stream. Did you meet your 2024 goals in your garden? And now we are talking about what's going to happen in 2025 in the world of gardening or in your personal garden. And everyone's welcoming Brenda in. Carol says, sweet Dave, I so want to set up an automatic watering system. Yes, anything to help us out, right? Okay, number 4, viewing the garden as a social gathering space. Seating areas and fire pits in the kitchen gardens, more community gardens, garden clubs, and shared gardening spaces in 2025. It is not a place of work only. It is a place of rest as well. Must not forget that, okay? What? GT Junior grows at Alaska. Hello. How's it going? How's your weather? Did you meet your gardening goals in 2024? We are looking into the future at what's going to happen in 2025 for the gardening community and our own personal gardens. Mike's Cat at Gardening is also here waving at you. How's it going? Same question for you. Let us know. Check out GT Junior Grows in Alaska's channel. Indoor growing, building chicken coops, having fun, growing food. Number 5, putting the garden front and center. So put the gardens right in your front yards. Who needs a bunch of grass or more boring landscaping when you could be growing your own groceries for all your neighbors to see? Even if you don't have room for raised beds in your front yard, you could grow some edimentals or really attractive edible plants like Swiss chard, rosemary, purple basil, and chives in a little planter on your porch or balcony. These plants offer the best of both worlds. They're stunning to look at and yield delicious produce. So no more yards, right, guys? Low maintenance yards if you have to with the clover. 6, replacing grass with native plants. Here we go. Low maintenance. Native plants and wild flowers require way less water to grow, and you don't have to mow them. Okay? Let's say that again for you in the back. You don't have to mow them. They're pretty low maintenance as a rule, plus they do real good for the climate by feeding pollinators, giving wildlife shelter, and increasing biodiversity. Plant a cut flower garden while you're at it. 7, using technology to make gardening easier. We did a live stream about AI in the garden. Check it out. There's some things happening and coming in the future, and I don't know how I feel about it. App-controlled irrigation systems and rain sensors for the drip lines, smart gardens, robot weeding tools. That was just the tip of the iceberg when we talked about in that live stream. Number 8, prioritizing gardening for wellness. Let's see here. Wait a minute. There are winter melons that can last in storage for more than a year? There was one that I talked about the other day, and now I don't remember the name of it, but it stores. And it was an Asian melon. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Dave Knight, my son will not look after the greenhouse when I'm gone. He can be replaced. Howie's saying, yes, winter squash. You're calling squash a melon? Mike says our weather was too bad in 24. I'm hoping 25 will be better. I know that for our weather here in my part of Minnesota in 2024, we had a very wet spring, which caused lots of different diseases on gardens, late starts, which is okay. It's not the end of the season, you know? And then we had like no rain, a dry summer, and then fall all over the place, you know? Everybody's talking to each other. Howie says, go underground when hot above ground. Facts, right there. Duncan, I'm just hoping to be able to work in the garden. Last year was a bust. Hubby had to do most of the work, which didn't work out so great for the garden. Hey, sometimes the garden needs a rest, you know? It's okay. Richard says, Sunday morning here, Shawnee grows motivation for me, and I planted Cosmo flowers yesterday afternoon to get ahead of you. Oh, Cosmos, those are wonderful. They are a nice cut flower for a bouquet. AI? No, no, no. All I want in my garden is cute brunette. That is hilarious, Perry. Mike's rain nonstop till September and then drought. Yes. It was very frustrating. Howie says, introduce him to cannibals and say he must look after the greenhouse. Dave's son. Carol, winter melons, also known as ash gourds or wax gourds, are a versatile fruit that can store well for months and are often eaten in winter. Yeah, there was this Beat podcast, I think is what it was, the Beat, and they're talking about Asian greens, Asian foods, Asian vegetables. I can't remember what it was called. And she was speaking about this magical Asian winter melon that lasts like 2 years on your shelf. My below ground is water, says Carol. Okay, what are we at? Number 9? Did I read number what are we at here? Number 8 was prioritizing gardening for wellness, whole body health, the mind, the senses, your nutrition, tranquil water features, fragrant herbs like lavender and chamomile, and soft sensory friendly plants like lamb's ear. Smell of rosemary can boost your mood. Seeing the color green slows down your heart rate. Hearing birds sing can help you focus. Number 9, climate resilient gardening. We were kind of talking about massive flooding and then drought. So what are the plants that we can do and grow that adapt to that? Drought tolerant plants, native plants, innovative watering saving techniques like drip irrigation and rainwater harvesting, adaptive agriculture. We're going to talk about adaptive agriculture on a future live stream somewhere. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. 10, practicing regenerative gardening. Embracing regenerative techniques that actively improve soil health and biodiversity. So making your own compost or hashtag pathwaysoilbanks. Use worm castings, biochar, companion planting. Which reminds me, there's some books here about that topic that I love. So this is called Plant Partners. Oh, the glare. There we go. Plant Partners, Science-Based Companion Planting Strategies. This is linked in the description below. Another one, it's old, actually, if I remember right. Because this person, it was first published in 1975, but they made it looks a little, updated. Carrots Love Tomatoes. It has so much good information in it. This is also linked in the description below. So, brewing your own liquid fertilizer is something that all people should be doing. And cover crops during the winter only in certain circumstances and cases. It is not the answer for every situation at all. That takes like a whole live stream to talk about cover crops. So yes, like what you see, don't forget to subscribe for more gardening chats. Check out the description for all the links to the articles and the items we talked about. And there's some little special ones in there too for gardeners. So check it out. I am going to get back to my YouTube side and put the link in there for the friendlies to speak. And then I'll catch up on chat, okay? And there's a poll. So answer the poll if you haven't. What is your top gardening goal for 2025? Embrace sustainable practices, grow more flowers for pollinators, grow new and unusual vegetables, or show it to me again? I don't know how to make it. There was a fourth thing. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Move to higher ground. Howie has the wise wisdom words here. Barry says it's all ocean under Florida, Carol. South Florida sunshine. We can grow a lot of Asian veggies here. I need to put those on my goals list. Miss Sharon says, my underground is pure granite rock. We have South Florida sunshine knocking at the door. Are you ready to come in? Okay, she says yes. Welcome up.
Hey.
Hey.
I found my indoor stackables for growing. I was looking.
Ready, everybody.
Yay. Hey, everybody. Oh, DCPs came in too.
Underground.
Hey,
I'm catching up.
Yeah,
what is this about? I want one of those granite mountain sides for a house. Oh, pure granite armed doors, comfort in my home, solar powered. Howie says man's first home was a cave. Jesus lived in a cave and was a sheep herder. Lots of protection in a cave, one way in and easy to defend. Love that. GT Jr. I want to grow the food, the melon squash that lasts for months. I save a page from my search engine as soon as Howie said squash can last for more than a year. I have had potatoes like a year. Yeah, this whole conversation around the storage crops, the things that get you through the hunger gap when you cannot be growing outside and you can't grow enough to survive indoors. It's just a supplement. It's not your. So in January we will have this discussion on what are we growing to do that. How are we storing things? What do we do? We're gonna
Right.
go A to Z with it in January, so subscribe for that live. DCBs, there you are. I found you. Hello. We're just talking about did you meet your goals for 2024? What are your goals for 2025? What's the gossip in the gardening community of what's going to be trending, those kinds of things.
Wow.
GT says, Howie says to GT, Hubbard squash lasts a very long time. Oh, Mushroom Mark's still here. A hobbit home is a dream of mine. Big
Yeah.
smiley face. Barry says to Carol, I want Ironforge from World of Warcraft as a home. It's built into a mountain.
Yep, that's what I want. Built into.
Dave Knight, cover crops are okay if you have a tractor to turn it under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stipulations with timing of cover crops and when you
Right.
can put plants into that space again to terminate the cover crop successfully so it isn't a weed.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true, says Howie. Mike says, Mike, Georgia candy roaster squash lasted a year in storage. Fantastic. You're all experts.
Yeah. I would love to grow that. I got, I think, 2 seeds from somebody, and neither one came up. Oh, I think it was Jamia gave them to me.
DCB says, beekeeping, yes. Gardening, no. All right. 50-50.
There you go.
Dave Knight has a cold room and a cistern in his house.
Nice. You set.
Yeah. You're eating pie, DCBs. Tell us more about the
Yum.
pie.
Just reminded me of
Miss
something.
Sharon, I didn't. You got pie somewhere, Carol?
Yeah, my husband forgot to break out the pumpkin pie. There's a pumpkin pie. It wasn't mine. He just got it like at Publix or something.
I ate all of the French silk pie, so now we're on fudge.
Mm. Yeah, I'm for New Year's gonna make a chocolate ganache. Probably cupcakes. I was gonna make a cake, but I'm like, no, I think I'll just make the cupcakes and put the ganache in.
I got a little antsy this evening and whipped up something called 7-layer bars, and it didn't go well.
Well,
And so I haven't cut into it to even try it yet because it looks a little messed up.
well, I ate one of those cookies that I showed you, the butter. I
Mhm.
mean, sugar cookies with more sugar on top after we iced it, and I think
Yeah.
that might have helped put me into this headache. My inflammation
Yes.
went through the roof. Like,
Right.
not good, but delicious going in.
Miss Sharon says, no, I didn't meet my goals. However, I didn't buy tomatoes, squash, okra, or peppers this
Oh,
summer. Yes, because you grew them.
right,
Fantastic. That is something that is also a conversation. Is there something that you want to
right,
stop buying at the store? What is that thing that you are now going to provide for yourself?
right.
Mike's Little House on the Prairie was this sod home, not house like on TV.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
know
like real
that.
life?
Didn't know that. That
Did
makes
you
sense,
go?
though.
Is there a display of this and you've been there? How do you know?
Yeah,
You read there's a book, I'm sure, that talks
yeah.
about
There
it.
was a book before there was a TV show.
There's all the stuff. Yes, butternut squash is a good storage winter
Hmm.
squash. Howie says only dull-looking squash can be hard enough. Shiny ones must be consumed or dried for flour. Duncan says I have a small pumpkin I plan to cut open before spring. It's been on my counter for 2 years. 2 years,
Yeah, I
and
need
it's
to.
not mushy.
Gonna throw that little white pumpkin in the ground and see if
Here's
anything.
the pie, lemon meringue ice cream
Mm,
pie.
different.
I think I
Like,
spelt it wrong. It's okay. There's no quiz.
yeah, no fuss.
Richard says my little Jack Russell Terriers try to help me in my garden. They have a gift and talent for unplanting the flower beds along the fence. This is a whole nother
Hmm.
part of gardening that you have to deal with,
Hmm.
right? So let's say you have a
Right.
cat to try and keep out mice. I don't
Yep.
know if cats keep snakes out, but that came to mind just now. That might be not factual.
Dogs
Do your own
can.
research.
Dogs.
Dogs will
I've
keep a
seen
snake
a
out,
dog grab a snake before with its
but the
mouth and
cat
bit.
will roll around in the garden and unplant your baby plants. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's there to help and then it causes a ruckus,
Right.
right?
Or the pooping in your beds too,
And
which
then
is gross.
there's bathroom spaces, right?
Yeah. Bathroom spaces.
Some
Some
of
of it.
my oldest family members lived their entire life in a soddy. Ooh, says Howie. DCBs, about midsummer, the garden started to get neglected more for the bees. It was difficult keeping up with what I wanted to do in the garden because of the bees. Yeah, that's a huge job. Bees
Yeah.
in general.
Right.
And then to garden on top of that. It's a
Hmm.
balancing act, right?
I'm sure all the gardeners were very grateful for your bees. DC.
Mhm. That's right.
That's
We
where we
have to have like, in the order of operations, we kinda need the bees, right?
yeah,
To have the garden.
we need good beekeepers.
Um, her real life memoirs told stuff like PA was a Rolling Stone.
I don't know if
Like,
that's PA or Pa. Pa was the Rolling Stone.
probably Pa.
Yeah.
Dave Knight, I'm not buying $6 lettuce at the store this winter. I will cut it in the
Woohoo.
greenhouse. Here we
Good for
go.
you.
What else we got in the chat for what are you not buying at the store anymore? Miss Sharon says, trust me, cats will make any garden spot their bathroom. I'm
Right.
about to rehome these ding dang cats. Papa. You were right, Pa, not PA.
Papa.
Oh, what is sorry, storms? What did I miss? Was there a thing?
I was thinking that, Duncan, like what kind of wire you could use to keep them out.
Okay, what do we got? I had to cover my raised beds with chicken wire to keep the cats from using them as a litter box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Honey. Oh, Howie's saying goodnight to the Earthlings. Many vids in the last 24 hours on eating local and what you grow, forage, buy, sell, trade. Check out Food Forest Permaculture's videos, everybody. Support
Yes.
the community. And good
Always.
night. Sleep well.
Good night. Sleep well,
Rest.
Howie.
See you another day.
Yes. Happy early New Year if we don't.
Woo, yes.
Woo!
DCB's green beans. I got a winter's worth of green beans canned for me. Right on.
Yay.
Love that. Oops is here. Hello, Oops. Have you met your goals for 2024 in the garden? What are your goals for 2025? That's what we're discussing. Good evening. Yes, Oops. Prawns? There was prawns? I haven't seen that one. I'm behind. And you got to keep in mind, like, you can't make your 2025 goal list this long, right? Like, it has to be a manageable, obtainable situation. Like, we have dreams, but what are the actual goals that we know we can hit?
Right.
Oh, it was a cat's. Okay, right. Yeah. He runs Catlandia.
Yes. King of Catland. Yeah. Storms Reyes and Cat.
Let's see. Ending poll. Your top gardening goal for 2025, 38% said improve soil health and composting. Yes, because we need to have good soil, that food web, in order for the plant to even survive and grow and produce for our nutrition.
Mhm.
22% said grow more flowers for pollinators. 22% said grow new and unusual vegetables. 16% embrace sustainable practices. They all go in hand. You kind of need
Yep.
them all, right?
Right. Yeah. Especially the
Oh,
soil.
yes. Lion mane, prawns, and ribeye and sirloin. Howie's doing good.
Yeah. He eats well. He's a foodie.
I was a plant flower. I'm biased.
What?
Um,
I don't know how to follow that one, DCB.
I
What's in
was
that
a plant
meringue
flower.
pie?
Well, I
Maybe
would
I
like
was.
to say I came from fairies, but I don't know.
I was going to plant flowers. I'm biased. Is that it? Is that your goal to
Oh,
plant
maybe
more
I'm missing
flowers?
some
Maybe.
words here. Okay.
Maybe.
I made Chinese feast early. Oh, it's today. Buddha impersonation. You're feeling full over there, Mikes.
Oh,
I'm
the
so
big
glad you got that
Betty.
done. Yeah.
Got one of them
Good for
too.
you. What a recovery you've made.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. If I start to fade, just I'll step down.
Oh, you
As I hit this with all kinds of stuff, I'm
what are
just
we at
like,
here? We made it an hour.
woo,
That's
you
always
did
the goal, you
great.
guys, is 1 hour
Yes.
with the
But I
information.
did tell GT and Mike, I think Mike's was there, that I'm gonna try and do the wig.
Okay,
I'm trying
let's
to get
put
it
that
set
in
up
the
for just
chat.
back here because I was able to keep that rosemary alive and it grew some with this light that's kind of iffy. I just gotta watch it because
So that
what I
that
have it
like
plugged into.
that light thing, somebody was
Mhm.
just talking about it today, how it like overheats and
Yes.
fries stuff and electrical. And I
Okay,
was
then
like,
I'm not using
Carol
this light
has
because
that light.
yeah, I noticed that with the plug would get really kind of hot and it scared the crap on me.
She was
So,
like, don't buy these.
mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I noticed that with the plug, like when I plugged it in, it's the USB going into the plug, and then of course I have power strips. So, an electrician would really be giving me heck. Woohoo! Week 2024. That's
That's
right.
right.
Hashtag.
Plant a seed indoors and video it and put the hashtag on your video starting now.
Yeah, I know. I've got to get the soil out. I do have the soil. I'm concerned though, of course, because I'm going to use soil that I will have the gnat situation going on. So
Well, the people say that then you should sanitize your soil.
yeah, I could
You
bake
should
it, but
pour
then what if
boiling
I
water over it and all this stuff. And it's
yeah,
like,
I've seen
well,
the rusted
you
gardener
want me
do
to
that,
you want me to
and
kill the soil.
I know. And then
What?
he's done neem before too. Like as he's going into spring, I saw him do that. He poured like neem in there.
Yes. And I thought I had neem and I can't find it.
No, the rest were fine in the power strip. It was just this light was the problem. This light where it plugged into the plug. Like the light only comes, with the USB, but no pluggy to, they skip. They just give me a regular plug. I don't need everything to be USB. So, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So, yeah, I'm glad you said that because that was the one thing that was a little concerning.
Have an old fish tank, grow a garden.
Yeah. Yep. What was that
Says
one you were
GB.
talking about? That was it the fish? You put fish
Aqua
in and aqua,
aquaponics.
yeah, aquaponic. You can do a little aquaponic setup or a big one, depending on the size of your tank. And you get to look at fish. She's relaxing. I wouldn't mind that in here. That would be nice. So then that means now I need to score a new light.
Shop lights daisy chained with an Xmas tree timer, Mike says. That's your
Hey.
cheapest bet. So
Yeah.
you're looking for 5,000 lumen LED shop lights and
I just don't know if I can
keeping them, what
hang
is it?
shop
Is
light.
it 10 inches above the plant for
Yeah.
16 hours a day?
Yeah.
Oops says jar or can or bowl, grow a garden. Oh, I love this. I always
Mm-hmm.
say those rotisserie chicken trays, the
Yeah.
base and the lid,
Yep.
they make really good
Well, and I
grow me.
also have the sprouts like we were talking about. I have the microgreens ready, so I can start with those until I can find my light.
Somebody was growing microgreens on like it was
Eh,
like cotton fabric or something.
I have the
It
one that
wasn't even
actually comes
soil.
in it. It comes in the little fabric already.
Do you know what it's made out of? Is it
Mm, probably
okay?
recycled something. I don't know.
Wire
But
rack says Mike. Yep, says
cotton.
Mike. Great
I
starter
would
tray says oops.
I would love that. Like a rack right here.
Mung bean sprouts in mason jars is easy.
Yep.
Yes, I have those. We got
Hmm.
them. I don't remember if the link is on the mung bean sprout short or if there was a live that we talked about. Probably the growing indoors live where their link for where I got my seeds was, my mung beans. Miss
Hmm.
Granny, no, Miss Sharon, my granny, had every kind of tin can lined up on the banister of her porch with something growing in it. Every one of
Aw,
them.
that's so sweet.
Having a drain hole, guys, though. Let's think about if you can use whatever
Oh,
you want, have a drain hole, okay? A catchment for the water out of the drain hole. I've used paper towels, but they get mildewy.
dude.
Cotton matting for upholstery to grow indoors. Okay. Yeah, this was like, what? And then somebody was talking about using some kind of wool for uh in the garden outside. Mulch?
Oh, yeah, I've
Whose
seen
wool
that.
was it? I don't remember, but
It's just
somebody's
sheep's
wool.
wool. You can get
Sheep?
wool,
Okay.
put it. Mhm. Can use it that way. but I think it's kind of gross. I don't.
Blue reusable. I don't know about having that everywhere because I'm pretty sure a bunch of mice are gonna move in.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Especially here, the rats would love it. Not the rock wool. They actually used real wool, Miss Sharon, out in their garden as mulch. Like,
But that is something that people
but
use
rock wool
indoors.
indoors, they use
Yeah.
it. That's the one that GT and I both talk about. The texture is just like bleh. Rock wool has
We have
that.
someone knocking at the door. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Barry, what
Oh,
did you
No,
do over there? We're all in a different angle again.
I
mhm.
was
Surprise.
so lazy to put it on the back of the laptop.
Too lazy, he says. Would you like to talk about your gardening goals in the past and the future? Or you just came to
Um,
hang out?
we've already reached those goals of the past, so let's move forward.
All right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I just have to see what the soil, you know, has to offer here because it's whole new territory for me.
Yes, Storms, Radios, and Cats has a brand new land to grow on this coming
Mhm.
growing season. Is
That makes sense.
limited possibilities. I'd like to learn more about growing mushrooms. I have watched some videos on different styles, even a mushroom specific greenhouse. DCBs,
Mhm.
that's wonderful to learn. This is the
Yep.
time to learn in the winter to sit and brainstorm and get resources and books and videos.
I like that.
I get my spores from North Spore.
Yeah. I like the idea of inoculating the logs. Like there's a gardener who does that all around his beds.
Yes.
I like that too.
Who the guy on wow, my brain. Jess's channel. Why can't I think of
Roots and refuge.
Roots and Refuge has her friend, and
Hmm.
he has a channel, but he is like the mushroom king. He's
Oh,
always doing stuff with mushrooms, and they have a whole spot in the forest of logs that they've inoculated.
that's awesome.
Can't think of his name though. Richard says, Michael, my lab assistant, visited us Christmas Day to greet us and give us good wishes. Michael went home with a shopping bag full of spinach, fresh
Nice.
harvested from my garden. That is a lovely gift. I love giving things that we've grown as gifts to share.
And they
Brand new
don't
land is
affect the
exciting.
for your mulch, Mikes. They don't affect the plants at all.
Cedar
The cedar
shavings.
oil, because cedar oil can be hot, like a hot oil. I know they would help great with all the bugs.
Probably depends on the amount.
Yeah, and how close you get them, I guess, to the stem of your plants coming up too.
So, Barry, you have to clear a space to get to something. There was a plant. You needed to clear a space around a plant. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Elderberry,
It was the elderberry.
yeah.
Okay.
Which if I do it now, I have a better opportunity to get to it in the spring, early spring,
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
everything takes over.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, stuff grow. Weeds grow wild here,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Oh, okay.
You know,
But
weed whack it, mow it.
yeah, both.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm like 30 feet closer to it down here at the new place than what I was up there. So I just go out my backyard, take a right, walk about 100 feet, and there it is.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that I can maybe move some of it over here so it's easier to get to. And
Yeah.
then,
Oops. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. If it's fresh cedar, yeah. I had at Costco. They had these dog beds that had cedar shavings inside, and my dog. I thought, oh, this will be great. Like, because sometimes during the summers there's flea issues, and it's like, oh, it'll just zap them. Well, her eyes were like watering. Her face started puffing up. I'm like, okay, she's allergic to cedar. Great.
Elderberry cuttings. What kind? You
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
don't know, Barry.
I don't know, GT. I just know that
They're
they're
wild.
they're wild, and
Yeah, they're the wild ones.
I
I'm
haven't.
yeah.
I missed my chance last year, so I mean this past spring, so I'm gonna have to be more diligent this year, or 2025. And
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm gonna grow four kinds. I have four kinds of elderberries. I'm pretty sure is what we put
Ooh.
in, but nothing
Mhm.
flowered this year. It was just
I
like establishing roots, I think.
Yeah. forget which one I had. Glenn sent it to me. Did great inside. Took it outside and it died. So I need to try again.
Hello,
Hey,
Bob
Bob.
942. We're talking about, did you meet your goals for gardening in 2024?
Right.
What are your goals for 2025?
My
Dog lost
dog.
all hair.
Your dog did or mine? Mine did not, because as soon as she was a pug. So what would happen if for any kind of allergic reaction, her little muzzle would start to swell, and the eyes just watering and the muzzle swelling. It was like, okay, that's gone.
GT, I think what I'll do,
Oh, okay.
once I'm able to get to that elderberry, I'll try to figure out what kind it is.
I don't know how to identify it.
Right.
Like the
first
leaves? I don't know.
Well,
we have another knock on the door quickly. I'm gonna bring them up, okay?
Okay.
GT Junior, welcome to
Hey.
the
Hey
party.
there. I got a quick question. I'm lost about what you said. You just said something about elderberry. Now, what did you just say?
Which one of us?
Yeah, shiny.
I have
Oh, that you
4
got. Yeah, the 4 types.
kinds of elderberry, and I planted them at my offsite garden, and they did not flower at all this year. So I'm assuming they were just focusing on their root growth and putting up their infrastructure, and I'm really hoping to see them flower and produce the elderberry this 2025 growing season. And the
And
kinds
you
I
in
have,
zone 4? You planted those in zone 4?
4B, yeah. Are you not able to grow elderberries in your
I
Alaska?
didn't know if I didn't think we could.
Well, let me do
Please.
some research real quick. Where I bought them, I can look up what it
Okay.
says.
The American elderberry or
You might be
sambucus
surprised.
canadensis is a native elderberry that grows wild in Kentucky and other parts of the United States. So it might be that one.
Oh, the Kentucky one. Say it again.
It's the American elderberry or sambucus canadensis or canadensis. I never know how to do the Latin. Canadensis. So that's the type.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's the type that usually grows in Kentucky, wild.
They do in Ohio too.
Ah.
Like way up north.
Yep, they're saying that.
I didn't know that could be possible in zone 4.
Well, if they're all dead in the spring, I'll let you know.
The same thing with the what's the name of the other plant? Oh,
I got a lot of
cuttings
those
also.
experiments going on. If it's dead, then I guess I can't grow it here.
Yeah, that's how you spell it. Oops.
Mulberry. I got a mulberry
We
cutting
can grow mulberries
Oh,
here.
yeah, mulberry shoot.
a purple. But we got a different cold than y'all. Where you at?
Minnesota?
Oh, y'all got crazy weather
It's
too.
negative
Ooh.
30, negative 40.
But
Yeah.
there's the Illinois dwarf. Before it was Illinois dwarf, it was like Illinois mulberry. So there's a full size and then the dwarf size, and it grows all the way up into your zone, from what I've heard. So should be okay. They're hard to kill. They're really hard to kill. Mulberries are great. But you have which one did you say you had? You said the dark purple?
For his mulberry?
Yeah. You. Yes, you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had a purple cutting, but then I didn't water it, so I'm hoping that I'm able to revitalize it. But it's indoors because I was trying to get it established. I just got cuttings from off of Etsy.
Oh, okay. So they didn't give you the name other than purple?
No,
Like
it says
is it the very
it said
best?
purple something. No, it didn't say very best, but it was purple something and other. I don't remember.
So the elderberries I planted: Nova, York, Johns, Adams. Those were the 4 that I did.
I have the very best, and I have the Illinois dwarf that is looking more and more like it's just the Illinois mulberry.
Oh, wow.
It's not staying very dwarf. I have to keep cutting it.
Mulberries are huge. This goes to zone 3, so you can grow elderberry plants, elderberry bushes, elderberry GT. You should get some elderberries going. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, mulberries can take over. Yeah, especially if the birds love them.
Mulberries can take over.
If the bird not there, probably you'll probably be able to grab the little ones, but
The seeds from the mulberries, from the
Yeah.
birds pooping them out, get planted, and little mulberries pop up everywhere, and they stain
Mm.
everything, the mulberries do, so
Right.
you can't, like, plant it over where you're gonna park your car or anything.
yeah. But with you, the way you get that deep winter, probably you'll be able to find the little sprouts if they're on your property and get them out and sell them.
Mm.
Give them to somebody else.
And sell 'em.
Free
Yeah.
food.
Go plant them in a forest somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I just looked it up, and apparently Kentucky has a mulberry orchard. It's in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
Mm.
Wow, I've been here 31 years, almost 32 years, and didn't know that. Cool. Let's go
So
check
let's
that
look
out.
at the dwarf ever-bearing mulberry tree, zone 5. Oh, I wonder what the one here. We have a mulberry here in my locale, but I don't know what it is.
We got a fake elderberry here. I forgot what it's called, but the street is called Elderberry, and I went there. We went about 5-7 years ago when the sickness was going around. I
Uh-huh.
went there and it wasn't. Oh.
Oops, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
GT's email is in his channel
Yeah.
about page. If you want to email him.
No, it's all good though. But I went there to the Elderberry Street and it wasn't. That's not elderberry. You could look at it and you could tell by. I can't remember if it was the leaf formation or the actual berries that told me that it wasn't real.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't think that they can survive here. Mm.
Should we shop fruit trees for zone 3 for you?
Yeah.
Oh, everything just went
I
dark.
would. I would love that.
Let me see if
but-
I can pull up it. And we'll
Ooh,
just
they
drink
might be
for a little.
sumacs. Yikes. Little poison sumac.
It's something here. I could not remember, but it's something here. Where's my other phone? Elderberry Street.
Yeah, I have those very best ones. So I have to transplant DCBs. And the problem is I love the mulberries because they're just so easy. They make you feel like you can garden down here when everything else is like, I'm dying and I hate you as a gardener. My mulberries are like, hey, I got some fruit. You want to come over here and pick it? Because it's delicious. I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you for doing your job.
They're like raspberries on steroids.
Thank you for working with me, mulberry. Yeah, they're like raspberries without the thorns. They're like a cross between a raspberry and a blackberry. The ones I have, the flavor, they're good.
I love raspberries.
Oh, red sumac berries. You can make I thought those ones were toxic. I thought sumac berries were toxic for some reason. I must be thinking of something else.
This is for zone 3. It's telling me there's figs, apples, Buddha's hand. They're talking about an orange tree, GT.
No.
I don't even understand this. It says Calomondan orange. So if I click it, it's $121, first of all. And it says zone 2. So is it talking about growing it under cover? Grow in the ground. They reach 6 to 10 feet tall. In a pot. They'll be reduced by size. Self-pollinating. What?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, look, zone 2.
Oh, okay. Oops, the white ones are toxic. Yeah, they're talking about one grown in bogs and swamps is the toxic.
Something about this is not right.
I don't get it.
I looked this stuff up.
Crab apple, who cares about that? Pomegranate, what? How are these being grown? No, see, winter protection. So what does that mean? It needs to be in my house? See, that's the part where you got to watch out, guys. Just because it says something, look, it's saying it needs winter protection. That's not. Sour cherry, key lime.
No. Yeah, then you got to have a place to store them in the winter time.
What's this olive? Merino olive?
Olives? What? For up in that zone? They're Mediterranean warm climate plants.
I was gonna say.
What?
Oh man.
GT just needs a like a greenhouse like he took us to that one time in the video where they had all tropicals because he loves his
That
tropicals.
would be pretty expensive. I would
Yeah,
have to
right.
learn a lot to do that.
It totally cuts me out of the equation. There's nothing tropic about Kentucky. We're
Mm,
just we're just Kentucky. Mm.
I
mm.
didn't know walnuts grew here, but then remembered Mike. What?
Oh, funny. Funny. I would love to have a
Mm.
nut tree, but I don't know which one I
We
like.
have
Which
a
one?
walnut tree, we have a acorn tree, and I want to put a hazelnut tree in.
That I would, yeah, I like hazelnut. But the one I like is the one they grow down in Maui. I can't remember it. It's the white ones. My brain is like getting mushy now. What was that one? They're very expensive. Um, they come in that blue and white jar, and they're all white at the grocery store. They're delicious. They're very buttery and rich. Oh my gosh, it'll come to me later, or somebody will say it in side chat. Not the Brazil nuts, but those are great for selenium. You don't want to eat a lot of them. They're great for selenium. 2 or 3 will meet your selenium requirement for the day.
Span spec. I'm gonna look up.
Hmm.
It brought me to a cantaloupe.
Spawn spec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the little melon.
Okay.
Richard, what part are you in? South Africa?
I don't know which part of South Africa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Richard's in South Africa though.
We had a man who owned Island Water Sports who retired down there, and then he was a surfer. It's so weird. His dad was a diver. His dad passed away diving. He was like major surfer. I mean, that's what he built his business on, and he was down there in South Africa and passed away doing that too.
Yes, they are weeds, Dave
Yep.
Knight. I have some in my rain garden that are gonna get unplanted next season. Okay, yes. I have
Oh, okay. What's this?
honey with dried elderberries in it, and it's infusing. So yes. Oops. Western Cape. Did you see that in South Africa?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he was down in the Cape too. I forget where though. Ow. Yeah. Duncan would eat rabbit. If rabbits are bothering any of her gardens, Duncan won't have a problem with that putting it in a pot. That's for sure.
Oh, to eat the nuts? They have really good nutrients for you, DCBs.
Yeah, but I know what he's talking about. You can just eat right through them.
Yeah, I have that problem too.
70 miles north of Cape Town.
Okay. Yeah, he was Cape Town. Like right on the coast, him and his family. There you go. Duncan's like, if it's meat, I will eat it. I don't think I've ever had grilled rabbit. Oops, my parents scarred me for life when they were like, we're having fried chicken tonight for dinner. And I noticed even as a young kid, I'm like, the anatomy of this chicken does not look right. I didn't know the word anatomy at that time. I'm like, this chicken, these shapes don't look right because it wasn't a chicken. It was fried rabbit.
What do you mean, Mike? What do you mean, yuck?
Oh,
Are you
that's
talking
great.
about free
Fertilizer.
fertilizer? Hello?
Yeah,
Like,
free
well,
fertilizer.
G3GS Farm. Hello. Have you met? Oh, you're watching on the big screen. You probably won't talk then. I was going
Yeah.
to ask you if you met your goals for 2024 and what are the fruit trees you're buying for 2025. But if you can't
Yeah.
type because of the TV, I get it.
The mango mangler. He's probably getting some from down here. Some new mangoes. We got all kinds. Did GT just freeze on us? I think he did.
Oh, it does look a bit.
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Oh,
There he
yeah.
goes. There he goes. Oh, scared me.
I can hear y'all in the back. I was looking
Okay.
for the actual berry that the elderberry is called, so I had to use this cell phone to look it up. So
Okay.
that's what I was looking for. I was
Is it
looking
the
for the name of the berry.
Sambucus? Is it the
I
Sambucus?
don't know. I don't know. I was there and I was looking for it, but it's an elderberry park in downtown Anchorage, and
Oh, okay.
that's what I was looking up, trying to see because Miss Sharon said she was looking for it. I mean, she was trying to she was wondering what berry I was talking about. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
That's what I
because
was
the
doing.
microclimates are like shifting and changing so much because they keep. Because the weather just keeps changing for some
Right.
reason.
I mean, the USDA changed my grow zone either last year or the year before. And when we're talking about zones, it only matters with like perennials. What can they last, the coldest temperature they can last through to come back. And the grow zones aren't universal throughout the whole world. It's a like a North American thing.
Yeah.
Find you a spot and sit.
I know you gotta walk there. I guess you better rake it up, Mike. You better keep it.
Right. Rake it up and sell it. People buy rabbit pellets for their garden.
We went for it was since it was 44 today. We went to an Audubon nature preserve, and there's tons of deer poop there. And I almost was like, "Oh, should we put it in a bucket and bring it home?" I don't want to get arrested because
Right. You're not supposed to remove. Yeah. That's such a bummer when they like don't remove anything from these places. But then you think if everybody did, it makes sense. Like
Start planting stuff that attracts the deer. I don't know how the poop got there, but it did. I'm thankful.
DCBs, yes, our star is very powerful, and we have planets, gravitational forces moving our planet more towards the sun.
Right.
And I think we all need to be more aware of the sun we're talking about our weather forecast.
Right. Well, we wobble a little bit towards it every year as we make our rotation around the sun.
We're on a solar maximum right now, and it's just changed its poles.
So he just said new tree. He did not give me a specific itemized list, but there was a storm that took out stuff, and then now the newest information here, folks, is the deer ate the fruit forest.
No.
So we must send in the infantry and build infrastructure
and
help
the deer.
And yes, DCBs was talking about what Carol was saying.
Yeah.
Common chokecherry.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called, I believe.
Chokecherry.
You got the chokecherry. Okay, so not the elderberry, you got the chokecherry.
Mike, you got to sell them rabbit pellets. Check that out. Start bagging and selling them.
Easy money.
Yes.
Right.
All right, we have a guest, and we're going to talk about gardening only, and I will kick you out if you get weird on me. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the stage.
It's not the first time I've heard that, so
Bob Too.
I'm intimidated.
We did have a conversation about growing in any kind of container. If you wanted to speak about what you do for your recycling of containers to grow in for a little bit.
Yeah, it's on my channel. Get kitchenware and drill holes in the bottom of it. I can show you what kind of drill bits to use. Man, you can get old mixing bowls for pennies on the dollar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all I can talk about, or am I?
So we have our gardening goals for 2024. Did you meet them? You know, you had to replace all your house plants. You know.
Yeah, but next spring, blueberry plants and clover, and then more flowers. I love growing flowers.
Yeah, I think the replacing your lawn with a low maintenance option like the white Dutch clover, is that what it's called?
Is what it is.
Super fantastic.
So what's weird? I can't talk about like what's taboo? What?
So
we try to stay on topic. On her tip, she runs a tight ship. She runs a tight ship.
So I was trying to look up the beet podcast talked about Asian veggies to grow, and they were talking about this winter melon. And I have it pulled up over here to try and flip through it to see if I could find it to pull it up for GT. GT's losing it to pull it up for GT. Is it foggy again, Mike?
I
It's
like
been
how
foggy
she
this
sidestepped the
morning.
question.
Yeah, she did. She deflected. Yeah.
Mike is gonna shovel it on top of his beds. Yeah, that's you got it. Or
Yeah, there
sell
you
it.
go.
Don't be
Yeah, use
complaining about
that.
that goldness you have, Mike. Come on.
Rabbit gold. Rabbit gold.
Well,
Did the
well,
earwigs leave your rhubarb alone, Bob? Finally, did you
Yeah.
get some rhubarb? Good.
Rhubarb.
yeah, I'm probably going to buy some more, put some
Good.
out in the back, make a little patch on each end of the yard. But she
Good.
flipped an Australian guy off on one of my panels. Yeah, she
Yeah?
just said, you screw you, Peter.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I wonder if
Peter
this
can
is
get
the winter
rude, so
melon.
I understand. I get it.
So I'm not
I
sure if
think the
this
coxcomb is a very pretty flower. That's one of my
coxcomb
Yeah.
favorite to
is.
look at.
So that's
Yes,
what I want to
Yeah.
grow this year. Yeah.
It's really
that
pretty.
mug is so beautiful.
I
I don't
love.
know if this is the melon or not. Do you
Wow.
know?
What is
Where-
it? Does it
melon?
have another name for it?
That's what I was
Because
trying to figure out.
Wax
the one-
gourd?
Wax gourd, it says. Yes.
Okay.
You heard of
Yeah,
it? Okay.
I have the
What
seeds.
does the
Yeah.
inside look like? Does it show me the inside?
Yeah, it says wax gourd. That's what it is. Wax gourd or ash gourds. Is what
I got the seeds for that.
their
It doesn't
skin looks
show me the
ashy.
inside.
That
Well,
was
the
a tree,
shell
right?
was like it
The
stays on
melons
the
with the
shelf
ashy skin.
2 years.
Looks like it was growing from a tree, right?
That's crazy.
It looked
looking.
like
That's
it grew up
huge.
a huge, like a
Looks like a
vining.
watermelon.
It wasn't across the ground. They had it up, and then
Okay.
winter
Oh,
melon.
on a vine. Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Wow. Well, but they also do that of like in certain places where they don't have much space. They will take their vines up. They'll put like trellis them up above and do an arbor and let them hang down and somehow tie them off so they don't pop off the vine, like with old pantyhose or bags and stuff. It's just unbelievably
Well, and
amazing.
it's like all of the Asians growing gardens around my community, everything's up off the ground. They're
Yeah.
using all kinds of
Helps the
sticks
bud.
and whatever they have to naturally put infrastructure together, and everything is grown hanging.
Yeah, I
Yep.
love that. I love that.
Yep. Same with the Bengalis behind my place.
Yep.
And
The
you remember how
Indians do
big the
it.
snails are in my yard overseas? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's what they're used to.
Those things were this big. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
think-
climb the string, you know.
I think you should get geese or ducks, Bob, to eat the snails.
Yeah, over there they probably
No.
Duck would be good
No.
because then you get sick of them.
No.
You just eat them for dinner.
No.
No, because ducks do crap
And
all over.
oh yeah, I don't want to that.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah,
Duck-
and they're kind of
duck-
loud,
Yeah,
and
they
are.
they
Yeah, they are.
bite people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are funny are the ones that are in between a duck and a goose, the Egyptian geese. To see them around here. Somebody got them into Florida, of course, like all these things that don't belong here. And I'm driving down the road and I look over and there's 2 Egyptian geese just like over in the parking lot at the taco place. And I'm like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden they're checking out the road. I'm like, please, no, it's rush hour traffic. Please don't. And just as you think one's going to walk, he takes off over and just gets missed. I was like, y'all, they don't honk that much. Like they will honk,
Florida
but
has
they don't
become a
honk like
zoo
the
with
Canadian.
beaches.
What was that? Barry?
No,
what
I
was-
said Florida has become a zoo with beaches.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. Pretty much.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Australia, but not, because they still have those spiders that are like this. That's the only thing I do not. I'm moving if those come in, the big spiders.
Well,
Okay.
there was one of them in my yard, a big banana spider about that big. And
Oh
I
yeah,
just
we
let
have those, but I'm
I let them
talking the
alone,
ones where you
but,
see them take a pot and put it over the spider in Australia, where it's like it
Oh,
just kind
yeah.
of comes out and it's like bigger than a tarantula. And,
Yeah.
orb weavers. We have orb weavers here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I talked to Shawnee about my wife's cousin gave me a tip on how to disable those giant snails, and she said you put some powdered Tide around your pot or
Oh.
wherever they're growing, they won't cross it. You know,
What about salt?
I don't know.
Yeah, salt
well,
makes them melt. They melt.
Well, the salt also washes away in the rain, and it destroys the concrete too. Everything over there is concrete.
Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. That's
Yep.
true. Might cause pitting in the concrete.
I'll trust her. She lives there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to listen to the natives, especially when you move to any
Yep.
area and you're gardening. You
Mhm.
gotta
Yep.
listen to the people that grow there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Sharon says, just in the past couple months, we've had an escape monkey, emus, and now 2 wallabies.
No,
Right on.
Was she in South Carolina?
South
I
Carolina.
thought she was in South
Oh.
Carolina,
Yeah,
and that
she
makes
is.
me think, like, did you move?
Great. They're coming our way, probably, Miss Sharon.
Fox at Outdoors says, go over to Utah. They have spider the size of dinner plates. No,
No,
thank
thank
you.
That's where my daughter just moved. Great. I'll have to warn. I hope she probably
Everything
knows
has a
already.
purpose
They're
and a
smart.
reason on the planet Earth.
They do.
Yeah.
I agree with you
You
there,
know.
Shawnee. They do.
Give it its own space. She is an SC. Oh my goodness, lady.
Wallabies in South Carolina is wild. Monkeys too.
How did they
It's all-
get there? I feel like that's not normal, Miss Sharon.
Was it
They
a
had
zoo?
the ship
a-
Must be.
crashed and like
Yeah.
It was an experimental thing,
Oh,
right?
that's right. Those experimental monkeys that got out. Was
Right
that in
on.
South Carolina?
We get to have another
Yeah.
pandemic. Yay!
Oh, that's can't do that. So
We get to wear face diapers again.
There you go.
yeah,
You know,
she's
the old
yeah.
the old liberals around here still wear masks. They still wear
We're
them.
not going. We're gardening.
okay.
We're gardening.
So how can we talk
Oh,
about
okay. All right.
gardening?
Gardening.
Gardening.
Oh,
Shawnee is
thank
new
you.
on the
For
scene, and she
2024,
yeah, so
2025.
she needs to
Mike
get.
went
Okay.
to grab water.
Well, have a good night, guys.
All right.
Later.
Have a good night.
Thanks for coming up, Bob.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Hi, evening. Good deal. I know that my shopping goals for gardening is like Earth Day. We usually get really good deals on our fruit trees and
Right.
bushes and nut trees and things like that. I think I'm gonna plant rhubarb in the spring.
Oh, okay. What will
Um,
you use it for? That's the
well,
only
right,
thing.
right. Like,
Yeah.
do I really need it? Now,
You
the
only need
purpose
so
is
much of rhubarb,
I
and they
need
get
one
huge.
plant. We don't
Yeah.
need a whole row, right? That would be nuts unless you're like farming it out. For rhubarb uses, I've seen people make a barbecue sauce, but I doubt I'm gonna like that. I know I make strawberry rhubarb jam, and then
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
your
good.
crisp, your strawberry rhubarb crisp.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I really want it or not though. And then I think there's different
Mhm.
types of rhubarb for
Right.
that can grow here. So then I have to narrow down, well, which one do I want? Because technically
Right.
I could go, hey, there's people that have established rhubarb that's 40 years old. I could go to their place,
Get a
but
cutting.
that's inconvenient for my introvertedness. And so I shall plant it possibly in our food
I believe
forest.
we lost GT in a Baker Creek catalog. That
Yeah,
looked
is he
that
still
picture.
looking for the melon? What's he doing?
I saw like a picture that looked like from Baker
Yeah.
Creek.
Y'all did me good because I was over here thinking, I was like, dang, now all they had to do was just give me a picture, and I was like, I can go find it. Like, where's Waldo or something?
Yeah.
Kind of weird. But I like
Yeah, you grab
I was on the hunt.
Yeah. Are you gonna grow rhubarb, GT?
I got rhubarb growing already.
You have it. And how do you use
Mhm.
your rhubarb?
Let it sit. I don't eat that stuff. Well, there's at my work garden, there's a guy, his friend, she made some rhubarb crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Mm.
Okay.
Bob made a suggestion about darkness in rhubarb.
Yeah,
So
he
I'm
used to
gonna
farm
take
it
that
that way.
suggestion.
Yeah.
So I have rhubarb. It was there when I moved there. I've had it it's all around Alaska. Anchorage. There's a lot of rhubarb. But I thought it was gross. Somebody made it one day and I was like, I'd never eat it again.
I know.
But
I've made a
yeah.
syrup with it, but I mean, what you can make a syrup on anything with water and sugar, like,
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'm 4B, 5A, Cliff. I don't have citrus growing. I'd have to have it inside. Do you guys want to talk about your zones?
You go ahead.
I am
Go ahead.
I am Alaska,
Yeah.
Zone 4, Alaska. I'm in Alaska, but I'm in Zone 4A.
He's in zone 4A. I mean, sorry.
Okay.
I'm in the zone 10B slash 11A.
10B.
Good Lord.
South Florida, Palm Beach
Whoa.
County. I could grow citrus if my native Floridian daughter was not allergic to the pollen, but she is. So I need to find a place in my garden where I can maybe so it'll just blow out of the pollen will blow the other way, and then maybe I could grow some.
Berry.
Yeah, there
Oh,
are
yeah.
certain citruses that can handle 7A and B, and you can push the zone too. That's a thing. David the Good wrote about it. To push your zone. That's awesome, Foxit.
There's some kind of Alaska native rhubarb that's sour.
Okay.
Don't have that one. Okay. Rhubarb on a biscuit is yummy. I just don't want to chew on rhubarb. I've seen people literally chew on it. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
No.
And plus they had that thing where they were they linked it to Alzheimer's. The one thing that they linked to Alzheimer's that was a plant was rhubarb for some
What's
reason.
good in tea, Mike? Are we talking about rhubarb? Rhubarb is good in tea? There's no way you're talking about rhubarb. What?
Rhubarb was nasty to me, so
It
I don't
has to
know.
be with strawberries and some sugar,
Yes,
simple
that's the
syrup.
only
Yeah,
way I can
right.
imagine it.
I know.
Yep. Now you're 4B. Yeah, I'm claiming the 11A. They didn't, for some reason, they just skirted around us and was like, no, you stayed 11B, but they bumped up How to Garden, who's above me. And I'm like, excuse me, sirs, ma'am, whoever did that. No,
What's the name of the citrus, Cliff?
Yeah, which one are you
So
growing?
we can visualize this. Freezing cold.
Yeah. It's freezing cold day.
Sharon's an 8B, upstate SC.
8B is a good one.
Try different varieties of rhubarb. Richard says, first day of lockdown, bought the last 4 peaches, ate the peaches, used the pits, and now have a harvest of peaches from the trees. Don't know what I
No.
do with the fruit giveaway. So
That's
that was
crazy.
amazing that you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you do that in the area
Well,
you're in the Cape? You must
4
get
years ago.
winters.
No,
Well, no,
5 technically.
yeah, but it's a
About.
stone fruit. I didn't know they could what.
Well,
I
I
wonder
can
what
grow.
the zone
There's
is
a
like.
contender peach that I can grow here, but the trees don't last very long. You would have
Yeah,
to
that's
plant
true.
a tree every year because eventually that thing's gonna die.
That's true. They do have down here. We have, I think it's called the Prince peach, and it might even be the King peach, and they're more of a tropical peach. That's true. Yes, you get good peaches, Miss Sharon. Oh, actually, I pull winters green. Yeah, you got to have a greenhouse.
20-year gap they skipped.
But what you mean, DC? There's more than one type of rhubarb?
Right. Let's see if I can pull some up here.
What in the world?
Just like any other plant.
No, I thought it was just nasty and nasty. That's all I thought.
No, not just nasty and nasty.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's like Star Crimson rhubarb is what I just pulled up. So there's all kinds of different flavors of rhubarb. So let's see if it tells
more
me.
nasty.
This one's sweet and tangy red.
Yeah,
How do you choose one? I don't know.
Yeah, the
I
lemons
will
and
have to
limes
check it
too.
out.
Yeah. Okay, we've got the citrus list. Mexican limes, Meyer lemons, navel oranges, lemons and limes were very successful this season. And how old are your trees, Cliff?
Right. The lemons and limes are more forgiving than the orange.
People can put Meyer lemons in their house here in my area.
My great grandmother had one in PA in her house.
But I have 3 kids, so
no.
Very limited on my options of keeping things successfully in their pots and alive.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, well, that's like a concept that you have to apply to all plants, right? DCBs, the things that grow wild are smaller. They could be more bitter. Yes, there's more of them, but they're like, here, dear, eat this because I don't want it. I'll grow a much better variety for my human body.
That's neat. That was great.
New names for rhubarb. Nasty. I'd rather not. What the heck is this? Destiny, welcome. Have you been here this whole time?
Hilarious. I have the
GP.
I rather not variety. You want some?
Okay, what is this? DCBs. The wild stuff up in Alaska is almost unedible with how sour it is. There's many types that are actually sweet. We got to get GT some sweet rhubarb then. 7A. There we go, Barry. Thanks. So that's warm. Ish.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah.
It's too funny. That was great, doesn't it?
Hmm. I found the wax gourd that I'm gonna be growing. It's called a giant bullet head wax melon. It it says that it's a staple winter food. Its waxy rind helps to preserve the fruit for up to 12 months.
Mm.
So I got to find different recipes for it, but
Is it like,
um,
I wonder if their melon is like the bitter melons that they call melons? Uh-oh. Oh, I thought we lost the whole
look at
thing.
that girl.
This is what he's talking about.
She ain't
Wax
playing.
melon. I know.
Yeah, that's the one we
So
were talking about before,
see how they use like a
right?
melon baller and they have it in
I
these
know.
little scoops
Yeah.
here at the bottom? And there's some kind of
Mhm.
seasoning on this. It's a
Mhm.
substitute for zucchini squash.
Because I was just about to say, it looks like
Yeah.
the slices look like zucchini.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
But
does
that's
People
what
that
I'm
mean that it
saying
doesn't
too.
have flavor?
Yeah. Like their bitter melon. Like they call that thing a melon, but it
Okay,
looks
so the flesh is candied and stuffed into dessert pastries, stewed into
oh.
hearty winter soups, stir fried, so just like a zucchini. They
Hey.
used to fill them with mooncakes. See, that's the thing
Oh,
with growing different things, guys, is how do
right.
you cook it, eat it, consume it? What are the flavors? It's a huge
Right.
waiting game. I mean, you're waiting how many days till this is ready?
Yeah. I have to say Rare Seeds is really good about that, telling you what it's used for in its native country.
Oh, when she gets
Yeah.
back, we gotta find
Pickle.
out what tea she's got. Imagine that as a pickle. Well, it'd
Mhm.
probably be Michigan. Man, please.
Who is Foxing
Like a
Outdoors?
dinner plate
That tickles
or
my
big
mind.
spear.
And how are you feeling? What is the update? So good to see you
Oh
here.
my!
Oh my gosh.
We're having
Hey,
a good time.
GT, you know those big jars the pickles come in? You
Yeah,
just take one jar for that one.
that's right. For real.
All done.
Yeah, I'm done
Oh
for
my
the day.
goodness. Oh man, that was good. Foxing Outdoors. That was good.
Okay, we didn't know the wild stuff, what not really to be eaten. My mother made a pie and you couldn't eat it now, how much sugar you put in it. Then we talked to a longtime Alaskan. They said, no, you don't eat the wild rhubarb. If you try, you have to soak it a very long time. It lessens the
Oh,
sour. Oh,
listen.
good. I'm
Mm.
glad you're good, Ann.
Good. Yeah,
I'm
I'm glad
good.
you're
Yeah.
fine.
It was nice today, so we got nature time in, and we don't have plans or schedules or places to be, and I would like it to stay that way right now. I want like a
But
recipe.
I thought that I had the wax melon that you showed though. I
Yeah, like
thought for
the
sure I
lighter
had the
green,
seeds.
smaller
I
one.
I
Yeah.
have the seeds for it. I I just did a seed order. Don't tell nobody. But maybe is that the one I just got?
Okay, secrets time.
Woo. I love that star, Johnny, by the way. The Morovia
Oh,
star. So
it's
pretty.
we're decorating for New Year's.
I
That's kind
love
of what our
it.
topic. This is one of the things we have. This one deflated.
Pretty.
It has
Oh,
it has
bummer.
stuff inside of it, but it didn't get blown up right. Yeah, thanks. Tried to make it interesting here in the background. Richard. I live in Picketburg in the town on the foot of the Picket Mountain. On the mountain with a different climate, fruits are grown for export. Booberg up the mountain, go to Europe and our
Oh,
fruits.
cool. So your climate is like the Mexico of the United States, because that's where we grow a lot down in Mexico, and then they bring them up here. It's the craziest thing because we get like all these avocados from Mexico, and I love Mexican avocados, but we are an avocado growing state. We could grow our own, and keep it local. But yeah, we're bringing them all the way across.
Hello, Guardian
I didn't get
Preppy.
it in.
Hey, Guardian.
Oh, go ahead, GT.
I didn't have it in this seed ones.
It's
I
not
just
in
got
the
these
okay.
yesterday,
Mhm.
but it wasn't in this one. But I have that wax seed. I know I do. The one that you showed.
I feel like I would not want to eat it. The way it sounds,
Yeah.
because I don't like zucchini. I don't like summer squash. I don't care how you prepare it. I don't like it. So I
Mm.
feel like the winter melon shouldn't be on my try it list. But you
It'd
guys
be a
should
lot of
100% try it.
zoodles you could make out of that, though.
Ugh,
Broke
no,
my heart right there. Doesn't like summer squash.
no, I'm never growing it again. Kentucky Goblins
I'll
here.
eat it.
We are still here.
Hey. Yep.
How are you doing,
Hey,
Randall?
goblin.
Do you see which take a lot of water? The melons we're talking about?
Take a lot
Or
of water. What did I miss?
what? The avocados? Well, we're wetter than Mexico. We have a wetter climate. They're more towards the Mediterranean side of things. If you've ever seen a Florida avocado, it even tastes wetter than a Mexican avocado. Mexicans are like really buttery. Now we have a Florida, I forget they call it Florida Hass, which is kind of like a cross between the two. GT's had a Florida avocado before. They're watery, right?
They're watery, but
Yeah.
the best avocado I had, I think it was Creole or something like that. I would pay $200 for that one, for that tree, for real.
Creole.
That
I
mug
didn't
is
like that.
that was the best avocado I ever had in my life. It tasted like
It better be for them.
avocado that was dripped in butter. Like it was really, really,
Mm.
really, really good. They're gonna get another one next year, and I'm taking all the seeds. If you got 10 of them, I'm buying 5 of them. I'm
I have
serious.
never heard
I
of that
gotta
one.
have it.
I'll have to look
It's
it up.
it's either negre avocado or the other name that I said, avocado,
Oh yeah,
and it was purple.
Criollo avocado.
It's purple. It's like buttery, nutty, and avocado. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it was
It's
so good. I ate it on the live. I pulled out my I I got a big knife in my that I have, and I pulled it out and I just cut it and I opened that mug up and I ate it off the knife like a savage or whatever, like like Conan Barbarian or something like that. And it was
Barbarian.
good. It was
They're
good,
smaller
good.
though, right? It's a smaller one.
I don't remember, but I know I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I
they're
gotta go find
small.
that live.
They're small. The weird explorer, the guy who eats all the different fruits and everything. They're showing. I can't put it up because it's his channel, but he's got one getting ready to taste it on my page. They're showing it, and he's like holding it in his
It
hand
was
like this. And the description says they're like you said, purplish black, edible skin, smooth, rich, creamy, flavorful pulp.
it's
But
magical.
I might have to. Yeah, I wonder if we have them. I don't think I've seen them though.
I gotta have it. Mm,
I
that
was
would be
trying to
so
find a good
good.
picture, but it keeps bringing me to
I
places
know.
I can't show on the internet. Why is it
Yeah,
so complicated?
there's a one that's called DAC I just found here. Let me see if I can share it. But it's not deep purple. It's like a cross between green and purple. So I don't know.
It
It's
kind of looks
definitely
like that one, I
purpley.
think.
Yeah, that's what they were showing. Yeah, they're showing
What's
that.
that name on there? Good. How can I tell some?
I
How can
don't
I
know.
talk to a fruit tree place and say, "Hey, I want this." I got to
Right.
spell it. I can't talk to them and tell them. Man,
Well, they have two different spellings. See that one?
Yeah.
That's the one I couldn't bring up either, Shawnee. Yeah. There's that spelling, and then the other one looks like Spanish spelling.
Yeah.
Criollo.
mm,
Persea Americana, Creole avocado. Yeah.
That sounds
Okay,
really
let's go
good. Now
back
I'm
to
gonna have to ask
it was
locally.
good, y'all. I promise you, it was
See, they're
really, really
showing one
good.
that's more green.
So
No
the
July available.
acorn squash is considered a winter squash, but it belongs to the same family as zucchini. And no, I don't love it. If I had to eat it, I'd roast it. But
Yeah.
no, I'd rather have a
Mm,
butternut squash, a
Oh, I
butter
like
I
acorn.
love acorn
honey nut,
squash.
a bit, the
Mm,
little no.
I
Love
like butternut and I like acorn, and I've only had it in the oven, and I use
hmm
that that one. It's not sesame seed oil. Is it sesame seed oil? And I put some sesame. No, I put sesame seeds on there, but I use a different um like oil. What is it? I can't
Okay,
remember.
this is one I can grow actually. It says tropical, subtropical regions. So,
What's that?
yeah, the one you just talked about. Then I can sell those off $200 avocados. You're like, I'll pay
For
$200.
the tree.
Let me.
For the
Oh, the
tree, I
tree.
pay
Oh,
$200.
oh, okay.
Oh, not for the avocado. No,
I was like,
avocados take on the average 6 to 15. Okay, okay.
Good night, DCBs. Have a wonderful
Have a good
oh,
one,
evening.
DC.
yeah, have a sweet sleep,
Good
DC.
night, TCBs.
Thanks for hanging.
Now, maybe if you wrap that avocado in a gold, foil wrapper, it's real
Right.
gold. You
Brush
could
a
sell
little,
it for that much.
right? Brush a little gold leaf on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I've heard that, Mike. Deepa likes those too, the kabocha. Mm-hmm.
I've never tasted them. I have never tasted a spaghetti squash, and I refuse to eat it. It looks weird to me.
Oh, the
The
spaghetti
shredded.
good.
squash. Yeah, the noodles.
Yeah,
That sounds good. Cold cooked squash.
I don't
Looks
love it. I
good.
could eat like one, but I don't want one every week.
I practically like all the squashes.
Nice. You
I
have a
was
squash
raised on
patch?
just about all of them.
brown
Barry should
sugar
have a
and
squash
butter.
patch. That's what
Oh,
they
Oh,
put on the
okay.
squash, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Busy
red
growing
curry
food.
looks like a
What's red
soft
curry?
acorn. It looks like a soft acorn squash, kind of, but not
Edible
as
skin.
rich.
Cook it on the coals. Do you have a
Yeah.
picture, Carol?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Come back over to you and share.
I've only had squash savory, I think it's called. I've never had it sweet.
Yeah.
Every time that I've made it, I've
Let me
always
see if
put
I
those
can blow
bold flavors on it.
that one up. Hold on. There.
Oh, okay. It kind of looks like a Hubbard.
Yeah. But when they cut it with I guess it was slices of acorn or something, it looked kind of acorny, like this here. Oh, it's delicata.
Delicata.
And then
Yeah,
it's a delicata.
that's the, yeah.
That's pretty.
That one's okay.
Yeah. But
And I wonder
what's
if you
it?
can actually use the seeds. Are the
What's it?
seeds edible and are they hulless?
Right.
Red
What's
curry
it taste like though? Is it sweet? Roasted red curry squash would
Most of
smell
it's
like
nutty.
smoke it. Yeah, it looks like it's a nutty type. Okay. Have to check that one out.
Roasted curry squash seeds. Yeah, you can eat them.
Okay.
Just like pumpkin seeds.
All right. Take it down. There we
All
go.
right.
Looks tasty.
Yeah, it does look tasty.
Avocados are difficult to grow, but once they're growing here, they produce. My father-in-law lives in Pretoria. Biggest avocado tree I've ever seen. Butter avocado, 1.5 kilo each.
Nice. Yeah, we have I don't know if it's the Edwards. I forget that they're like this long. They were the ones that I wanted to grow just because they're just crazy in size. And they taste really good too. But
Mike is really into squash, I'm gathering.
yeah, like Diva. Diva's the squash
I'm right
lady.
there with you.
And berry, yep.
He grew that Georgia candy roaster. Ooh. I want to try that.
Russell, that's it.
Yeah, the
That
long one.
AYOTE one. That's the one I want to try. I want to grow that one. I would have to start that really, really early.
Yeah, I've had these before. I had it on my Instagram
Oh,
page
the green one?
next
Yeah, the
to
green one.
Yeah.
next
Looks
to a
gross.
standard. Sorry.
Sorry, Carol, go ahead.
No, I put up a picture for you. This is the one I wanted to grow. It's
Oh,
called
sorry. Okay. Okay, this was the
Russell.
AOT
Oh,
squash, and then here's Carol. Here we go.
there's the Russell squash, how long it is. I don't know if it's anything like the one that
Russell's
Bridget was talking about.
avocado.
Yeah, they're
What?
huge.
That's
Yeah.
crazy looking.
Yep, they're huge. I didn't even know
Wow.
they were native to the Florida Keys, which is wild. We have native avocados here. I didn't even know that. That's so wild. Anyway, that was the one I wanted to grow, but I don't know.
It looks like an elongated lime.
Yeah, it looks wild. Just cool.
You
They're
got too
good.
close to Chernobyl.
I held up, I think it was a Haas in the picture next to one of them, and it was just, you could see how big the Russells turn out. Let me see if I can find it. I just don't post to my Instagram anymore. I need to like just hide some folks.
This is the jicama that somebody in Minnesota said they grew from seed.
Oh, it's so good.
And I was like, you can grow that here?
Yeah,
They
I don't
started
know.
it indoors. But yeah, I've had it and I kind of was like, no, I maybe want to grow it, but I didn't buy the seeds.
Yeah, it's okay.
I
It's like it
love
takes
it.
on the flavor of whatever you're
You
making.
season it with salt and yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
didn't season it. I had it raw. I cut it.
get it raw.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
had it on salads. I'm not impressed.
I
Just
tried it baked. Oh, no. But I
So,
tried it just straight raw. I just cut it. I was like, okay,
No, I've
it
never
was
cooked it.
good.
so GT, you like me, you just try new things raw first, right?
Why not?
I mean, that's the way I
But I
do
tried
it.
to make it like French fries. Yuck.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I've only had it raw.
that's how I figure out what I could make with it. How can I make it into a meal? What seasonings and everything's going to complement it? That's how I learn how to
Yeah.
cook it.
Right,
I
right.
can go looking on Google.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Especially, what you grow yourself, you want to learn how to use and eat. And if you can't, then you just don't grow it again.
Yeah.
Like, just can't take up space in your garden if you're not going to eat it and enjoy it. The heck?
This is the
Have
candy
y'all
roasted
ever had
squash that he's talking.
horseradish before?
See,
I
that's another
have
thing I'm not
some.
planting.
I have some. I want to try and plant it in a pot, GT. That's so funny. But it's in my fridge, so I don't know if it will go, like if it'll grow.
It'll take over.
Ooh,
It'll
Well,
just be
in a
there
pot.
forever in your.
I
Yeah,
hope it
in a
takes
pot.
over. Oh my goodness.
I watch people
I,
harvest that at a farm in the south somewhere, and it's awful. Like, just it'll
Everywhere.
clean you out for days. Your
Oh,
sinuses and stuff. And I
Yeah.
don't need it in my life. It's very beneficial and it has a purpose. And we relied on
Hmm.
it at one point. I'm not planting that.
Yeah,
oh
it's
well,
just
more for us.
Right. I could probably pull up a picture
I'm trying
if
to
yeah,
anyone
find
it's
does.
a picture
serious.
of this.
Me and my son tried it. Oh my goodness.
I haven't tried it yet. How did
Oh
you try
man,
it? Did you
Carol.
slice it or did you like shred it? Like, well, how did you take a piece of it?
No, we took chunks of it. Oh man, I gotta. Yeah, Carol. I
Did it
I
go
we
burn
I
it open?
videotaped it too. My wife videotaped it. She watched it. She was in the kitchen. She's not experimenting with this stuff. Me and my son, I'm like,
Right.
if it's edible, let's try it, son. He was like, okay, daddy, let's do it. So we tried it, got it on camera. I just haven't released the video. Oh, it's gonna be epic. It's
I
so
wonder what.
funny.
Hmm.
What is the way you want to use the horseradish?
I want to use it for just mucus.
Yeah,
Make it
the
like a
miracle
mustard.
tonic. What's
Use it.
that? The tonic, right? You want to make that one with the ginger, the horseradish, the onions, garlic, turmeric.
Well, it goes in
No,
fire cider normally.
fire cider. I couldn't think of the name.
Fire
Fire
What
cider,
is
yeah.
cider.
fires? I've never had fire cider.
What?
So.
Look up fire
Hey,
cider.
Base
That's what it's
Place.
great for.
Good to see you. We're just talking about gardening goals next year. So
Okay.
fire cider, yeah. What were you gonna say, GT? I feel
Yeah,
like you were
GT, I'm
saying
sorry.
something.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
How
you
are
were
you gonna
gonna.
use
Yeah,
horseradish?
that was it.
Some people put it on food. What's the food? It's like something every year you eat. I can't think of it. Anybody?
Potato pancake,
Horseradish always goes
roast beef.
on. There's a sandwich, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, roast beef. It goes on roast beef. People use it for that, or beef in general. They'll use a horseradish sauce.
Hmm. Yes,
Can
I've had it. I've had the packets on Arby's, and
hmm?
um, it wasn't good.
Oh, there's okay.
I didn't know, and then I tasted it. Oh, gee willikers, it's
It's
something
good
else.
in cocktail sauce for shrimps.
Hmm.
No, you don't like cocktail sauce.
Yes, I will eat it, but I like the way it made me like the initial pain, but then I felt like my nasal passage was free as a bird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally does clear you out. I don't know what happened in that picture. That's what I'm looking for. Not trying to be rude. Looking down.
Okay, so I have a video or a short or something on Fire Cider, but if essentially you're taking beneficial ingredients that have different purposes as far as anti-inflammatory, and I can't think of any of the words right now, but you take all the ingredients and you put it in a jar and you cover it with apple cider vinegar and you let it sit in a cabinet for 4 to 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And then when you strain it out, you're left with this. And you do half this, half honey, and you store it in your fridge and you take a shot. You can take a shot every day, weekly. You can take a shot twice a day when you're sick. It's a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mhm.
used during one of the plagues with certain. I have the story in a video. I can't think of any of the information right now, but
I hate
fire
it when that
cider,
happens.
yes.
I couldn't
I
even
gotta
think of the
have that.
name, but I knew what I was thinking about.
I want to make it.
That's
Yeah,
why I got
something
it.
you should make.
Yeah, you should try making it, especially in Alaska. And then
But I
do a
really don't
taste,
get sick.
do a taste
I
test.
drink lake water.
That's right.
That's your
Goose
polar
lake,
plunger over here.
goose poop
Goose
lake
Lake
water.
Swamp butt
Yep.
juice. Yeah.
Cure,
Goose poop.
cure you of everything.
There we
Tastes a
go.
little
Someone
fishy,
got
but it's good
JT's
for me.
channel. Thank you,
Yeah.
Duncan, for already.
Very.
Yeah.
We got lake water out here too, GT. So it relies on rainfall, right?
Duncan.
So if we get
Yeah.
down to a certain level, they start hollering, you gotta, ration the water out this month, Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah, I
about
went to the
that lake.
polar plunge. That's what that was, and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
yeah, it was a fun experience. It was contains chemical compound.
So, other members of the mustard plant family, horseradish contains a chemical compound called sinigrin. Research shows sinigrin lowers inflammation by blocking or changing the parts of the immune system that cause it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
What's that?
medicinal plant, but it'll be there forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think have sulfur
Thank you, Vay. It's
compound.
fun to have another researcher in the chat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The
Give
I
your
would
sulfur
love
fingers
to
a
compound
grow
will
that.
do
rest.
it too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Berry.
Oh,
Barry.
I stepped all over GT. I didn't mean to.
Be good,
I
man.
said
Go
give
ahead.
Shawnee's fingers a rest.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I would love to have a few things. I also want to grow fartichokes. No, it's not
Oh,
artichokes. It's
Jerusalem artichoke or
Mm-hmm.
sunchoke.
Jerusalem artichokes. Yes, I would like to because they grow, like under the soil, and I think they can grow here. So that's why I want to grow
I
'em.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Horseradish
I
has the
I don't
sulfur
want to eat that.
compounds. Yeah.
Sorry.
It helps. So horseradish itself, it says it has the sulfur compounds in it, and that can help clear mucus, fight cancer, anti-inflammatory, promotes healthy circulation, and sulfur is or sulfa they change it into, like in the labs, is a really really strong antibiotic, and people actually can have reactions to it. But you
Antibiotic?
shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have a reaction. Yeah, it's like a
Wow.
natural antibiotic when you're making that stuff.
Mm.
When I have a cold, it clears up.
Okay,
Yep,
Jerusalem artichokes. Here's the flower. So
pretty.
you wouldn't even know, right? That there's
Yeah.
food.
No.
Why is this not load? I'm clicking things and it's not working. Things are breaking over here, guys. Okay, so there's what you harvest out of the ground. The
Mm.
the tuber, the root. And
Mhm.
there's different ways to prepare it so it isn't hard on your digestive system because yes, it will make you very bloated and
Yeah.
gassy
Yep.
because you are not used to eating this. So the
Mhm.
ways I've heard of making it easier on your stomach is fermenting it, or I think it was boiling in it and then roasting it.
Mhm. Yeah. If you ever get to hear Dave
Okay, what do we got
Lucas'
here?
story about artichokes, yeah, He didn't know any better and just sauteed it with garlic and I think butter and ate a bunch of it. And then he was like, I'm
Very
dying.
uncomfortable.
Mm,
Yes. It's not a
Heard him say that.
potato, you know?
It's not a potato. I'll turn it
I don't
into
want it.
Your first try of like your first time eating like pinto beans. You just nothing prepares you
Mhm.
for it.
I don't
Beyond
know.
making your eyes water, horseradish may help your respiratory health. One study showed that a
Yeah.
dried horseradish supplement and nasturtium effectively treated sinus infection and bronchitis. So I wonder if you could. Okay, this has me thinking.
Yep.
Horseradish, dried, powdered, capsuled.
Yeah. Why not?
Screenshot.
Totally.
There you go, GT. We're to be making our own.
Nasturtium. I used to get sinus infections, and yeah, that and
Richard,
hot
you
rain.
grow Jerusalem artichokes? Anne says hi. Morning.
It's a good survival food,
Yes.
and it's
That's why I
also
was
not
gonna
just.
get it.
Okay.
Well, that's why you were
But
getting
it
it.
seems like it's not gonna be worth it though.
But if you have animals, if eventually it is a good animal feed for them.
It can feed animals and you can eat the animals. That is correct.
Yeah, and then you can eat it.
I can give it to
It'll.
chicken, or will it blow them up too? Like,
I was thinking pigs.
Yeah, pigs and goats. I think it.
good fertilizer.
About chickens. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, poor little bloated chicken. They birds can't.
I think it'll
do
be too
either.
much. Yeah, I can't give it to the chickens.
No,
It'll be
not
too
chickens.
much.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm
Uh-oh.
looking up an article from
I wonder if they can eat the greens and the
Jerusalem
flowers.
artichokes stimulate growth of broiler chickens and protect them against endotoxins and potential sepal pathogens.
They can eat them.
So they might have blended them or chopped them up. They might not have thrown them whole to them. And I'm looking to see if there's like a serving size. And then your chicken might not want to eat it. Just because they can eat it doesn't mean they're gonna eat it. Is the
Exactly.
other
Yes.
The V or Vey?
Vey, I say, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Vey. Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's
I don't have
awesome.
a freeze dryer, but yes, I
wish I could have a freeze dryer. Dehydrate it.
Yeah, I have a fireside video.
Oh,
Miss
cool.
Sharon has a
Okay.
Oh, you do, Miss Sharon?
I have to go and watch that.
Vey like, hey, or Verna.
Hey. Oh, okay. I like that. Vey like, hey. Like a zone. What was it? 4A. Chicken at zone 4A.
I like that though.
I think it fits your personality. You're always so upbeat.
Jerusalem artichokes contain abundant B vitamins, iron, and phosphorus. They are a great source of energy for your flock of chickens.
Yeah, Richard, what you get with the sushi, they fake it. They fake a lot of times it's horseradish dyed green, like Mike said.
Yeah.
And it'll get you.
And still will get you.
Immediately.
It's right. That paste. Oh my goodness.
It's good enough for me, Miss Sharon.
Yeah, it's nice to turn it around because we don't get to watch a lot because you're being a caregiver right now, and then you take care of us in the side chat too. Like to return the
So are
favor.
sun chokes and fartichokes the same thing?
Yeah.
As far as I understand, yeah.
Yeah.
Then why
Sun
does Mike
chokes,
say it
Jerusalem
tastes
artichokes,
delicious?
artichokes are all the same.
I've heard they are good. They're nutty. Yeah.
If you prepare it right and you only eat, a little bit at a time and you introduce it to your body, it's perfectly fine and yummy. Mike, tell me.
Do you know a little sign language, Shani?
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen you do it a few times.
I don't use it as much
I've
as I
seen you
used
do it a
to.
few times where you're doing things, and I'm like, that's sign
I start
language she
talking
keep
with
doing.
my hands. Yeah, it comes
I
out.
seen you.
Yeah. A side story. I worked with a client that was deaf in a factory, and I picked up on some signing like knife, and we did a lot of texting though to talk because we're in a shop where we needed to get the information to each other quickly. But with my children, I signed with them until they were speaking, and even when they were speaking, we signed. So yes, and it helps when you're it helps when you're at a party and you want to go home and you sign that.
Oh, I never got that one.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Just saying. I've used that.
Eat, drink
Yeah.
water, all of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Malachi, that was how he spoke to us first. Was through we did sign too. But then he was like
Yeah.
always going milk. Bottle. Milk.
hmm that's how I got introduced. I was working with a guy. He was a youngster, about 11 years old, and his parents didn't know until later in life that he couldn't hear, and they felt bad. Yeah, they felt bad. They felt bad. Oh
Okay.
man, and I needed to learn a little bit of just simple words because the interpreter, she wasn't passionate enough. She knew her stuff, but she didn't
Right.
put the emphasis in it. And I told her one day, I was like, no, you gotta be stronger with the no. You can't do that. I said, you can't just say no. You can't. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
He has to understand authority, and if he doesn't understand authority, then he doesn't.
Right.
He won't understand boundaries if you don't, put in, put
Right.
certain emphasis on things. So they sent me to school for it. I was like, bet, let me get this first course. So I got the first course. I loved it.
Mm,
Yeah.
I
I
like
got
that.
in trouble because I wanted to learn different things. Yeah. Had to.
Got in trouble.
I'm GT.
Yes. The silly. He likes
I'm
to
like
be
thinking, how do you get in trouble? What are you signing in that?
Because I wanted to know the bad stuff too. I
Oh, of course.
learned some of the good stuff, and
Yeah.
then I wanted to know. I was like, now, what does this mean? And they was like, no, we don't use that. And I was
Where'd you
like,
see
well,
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you
that
can
was
know
that
it
was
if you've got a
something.
client that's fluent.
Yes, and he actually did that, and his parents would tell him no. But that I had already found out what it was then,
Right.
and I was like,
Like
no,
one of them
stop
like
it.
poop or something.
Right.
Poop. Yeah.
Yes, but he would.
He would combine it with something else.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Oh my! It was no.
Settle
He
down,
would get
y'all. Settle
very.
down. We're not swearing.
He would get very graphic with it, like really, and it was
sorry,
things where it
Sonny.
was like,
Okay.
I'm glad that I'm this complexion because it would probably make me blush because it was
Mm.
very very. I was like, oh my goodness, did he just say
I'll
that?
save.
Oh my
We'll
goodness.
save it for my channel, GT, when we
Yeah,
have
it was
somebody
funny
who's just
though. It was
ornery.
funny. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna get too graphic on here. I don't do that unless
I
people
know.
say green light. But
He
no,
was.
it was funny. It was funny.
Did you see that you can only give your chickens a couple times a week the
Oh.
Jerusalem artichoke? It should be uh well this was saying 90% of their diet should be their regular feed and 10% can be your garden scraps, their
Mm.
forage, their and I'm like
Yeah.
10%? Who wrote this
Oh,
article? I feel like that's
wow.
not
Well, because
accurate,
birds can get diarrhea easy.
but you got to watch them, right?
Yeah,
They
they can get diarrhea kind of easy if you give them too much vegetation like that. Like they can go out and forage themselves, and they're kind of controlling it. But if you just put that, and that's all they have to eat is a big plate of
they still need their
vegetation,
fiber and their iron and their
right?
yeah,
They need bulk too. Yeah.
right.
Something that flies does not need diarrhea.
Oh my, Barry, thank you for that.
I'll just-
Here, thank you for making it.
Thank you.
Gear was here yesterday, guys.
Yes,
Sounds
that's
like
what
some
I'm
AI
concerned
generated.
about. They. Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta get back to work, y'all.
Oh,
Okay,
I
get
gotta
back
go
to
back
Oh,
to
work.
work. I'm gonna go to the chat. I'm
Okay,
All
having
right.
such a good
listen.
time. Y'all
Yeah.
have a good one.
Have a good
get
day.
on it.
Trust the process.
Just
Peace.
about.
I'm gonna go to the chat.
Okay.
That's
Before he
funny.
gets naughty.
Gear's already stating it's early, guys. He read my
Yeah.
because I was like 10 more minutes in my head just now. 10 more minutes, but
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
I'm not,
Yes.
but I haven't had chickens. I've had small parrots, and you
Yeah.
give them fresh diet, but you also give them, the pellets and stuff to keep their system not getting too loose.
Is it asleep?
Yes, I hope so.
I know it looks like it's a stuffed
Check for breathing.
animal. I know. It does
Are
look
you
like one of
alive?
those breathing stuffed animals. Are you sure?
Oh, she's
Oh,
Okay, ear
What?
twitch. Thank
good.
God.
Oh my.
If it fits, it sits. Oh wow, Faye, we understand.
Gear, did you meet your gardening goals for 2024? And what are you thinking is going to be new and cool in 2025 for you? Is there a new variety of marigolds on the map for you?
I was just gonna
Vay,
ask that.
supposed to
Yeah.
go to bed. We talked about themed gardens, Gear. It was fun. You'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah. A lot of
Take
good
notes.
ideas. Great ideas. You covered a lot.
Thanks.
Because
was
we
good.
stayed on topic mostly.
And you stayed on topic. Yes.
Gear's gardening ain't got time for that. What?
Oh, come on, Gear.
I hear you, Gear.
You lie. Well, thank you for being with us, Faye, for another 10
Oh,
minutes. Oh, maters, marigolds, and cukes.
Those
All
are
right.
good goals.
Love it.
Yeah, because Gear, didn't you have that animal that was eating stuff too that you were dealing with? So that got in the way of his goals probably this year too.
My cats do that every day.
Mike's a gamer.
Cute, Mike. I have this app since you mentioned that, Mike, and you guys, I don't know if you know about it. It's called Treat.
Never
And
heard
you
of it.
can actually pick dogs that are in rescue or like a rescue, and you just play the game, and once you get through it you can earn treats and they will actually send it to the rescue for the dog free.
Cool.
I mean, you can spend money in it and send them like a box of dog food too if you want, but they'll do that for free for just playing, and it's a free app.
Guerrilla gardening. Yeah. Did you want to share what you guerrilla gardened, Vay? What seeds did you throw out, or
Yeah.
starts, or rootstocks? Miss Sharon will be in the replay to write down some themed garden ideas. Lovely. I
I'm
am
more
trying
curious.
to go ahead, Barry.
That's right.
I'm just more curious how you train that gorilla.
Oh boy. Yeah, last year, I guess something happened to the groundhog. It was a
Yeah, guess.
groundhog that was eating stuff? Okay.
He was dealing with a groundhog.
This year,
Did
the
it taste
problem
good?
was I was working, and the heads didn't water the garden for me like they were supposed to.
Oh no.
Here, I'm so sorry. We gotta set up some automated watering for
That's what
you.
I want to set up.
I wanna get the bobblehead. I don't know what it's called. It's a stick with a sprayer, but it sticks up above it's overhead watering. Don't come at
Right.
me in the comment section, okay, you guys? But I wanna set
Yeah.
that up. And I
Yeah.
haven't bought one. So if anyone has a suggestion for a nice, strong, I'm gonna be dragging it across acre
Oh.
because I have one
What about, why
hose.
don't you just do like a whole drip line around your
So
garden?
there, okay, let's have this chat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
we have a well,
Mhm.
and where the faucet is I have to go across someone's beautiful grass that they cherish to get the
Oh,
hose to where the gardens are.
okay.
And so, hold on, I got a thing in my throat.
That's true, Mike
So
knew exactly what I was thinking. I was concerned about watering from the top for the garden. So I
yes,
just water
I
from
know
the top.
people all get all disease. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well, just
uh,
because you're not there as often, that was my
there's
concern.
there's
Yeah.
there's an ability to, okay, so I can't do drip line from that faucet because mowing
Yeah.
needs to happen. It goes across a driveway, deliveries happen.
Oh, got it.
So there is a line that we could run off of there underground
Okay.
under the driveway to have a faucet down at garden. And
Right.
then my brain is like, let's put a hand pump on like the old days too, just for fun. And so if I had that down there, I could have potentially set up a drip situation. But for now,
Yeah.
I want to run a hose to it because I was using a sprinkler on the ground and my
Mhm.
kids busted it. And
Oh,
then moving it to where it needs to, the thing that does this, I just want an overhead sprayer, and I'm going to try that for a while because I love standing there and hand watering. I love it. It does so many things. You get to see
yeah.
what's going on with bugs and crop and count and
Right.
look and be and feel and see and hear. But I have limited amount of time. So
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's a good idea
that's
then.
my
Yeah,
spiel
for
on the
sure.
watering.
I've seen them use them in nurseries too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. I agree.
Keep
It's
them nice and warm. Bae, I don't remember what your zone was. If you were in here when we were saying that. Gosh, Miss Sharon, you sound like Florida. That's horrible.
95 to 100 degrees.
That's
It
horrible.
was, I think, Indiana or Illinois. I think it's Indiana. They had no rain and heat just like that. And like they're not getting the right amount of snow that they normally get, which affects the future
Oh,
growing season, by the way, everybody. Like
yeah.
it's crazy.
That's just horrible, Miss Sharon. I'm so sorry. And then she's up in the mountain ranges where it shouldn't be like they should be getting cooler temps.
6B is Vay's place.
Okay. So yeah, sweet potato slips can go in soon. Put them in soil. They don't do that water thing. Don't drown them.
Ohio.
I saw this. It was a short, and it was about how they spray, like, of course, the non-organic sweet potatoes with this no spud. I forget what it's called. And this little girl was doing like a, science fair experiment and doing slips, but she called it a potato at first. Anyway, she got one, then got an organic one, and then she got another one from, say, Fresh Market in town, like a green market. I think the third one, though, was not a sweet potato. It was a yam because of the way it went off. Like, she was like, oh, this one sprouted in like a week. I'm like, that one's longer. Looks more like a yam than a sweet potato, but it could be a sweet potato. But she was saying the other one, she put it out that had gotten sprayed. It didn't sprout at all. Zip. And she found out from the produce manager that they, spray them all with this stuff so they
Yeah.
won't. So you probably have to, if you get any kind of sweet potatoes, make sure they're either organic or you soak them and get that stuff off of them. I wouldn't scrub them though. That's awesome. Yeah, I usually do the soil and then I take them off and I'll put them in the water so they can make some roots. But here it's hard to get the slips to survive. You need, some shading for them to start. Sometimes I just put the darn sweet potato in the ground and let it do its thing. And it just plants itself all over.
Yeah, that's where I've had the most success in the past.
Yep.
Just stick it in the ground.
Yep. And we can grow down here. It's really weird. The Japanese sweet potatoes take off down here and do really well. The ones that are white inside, which I don't prefer them over. I like the orange and the scarlets. Oh, good. Well, sometimes you need days like that. You too, Anne. Have a blessed Sunday. Oh, Anne, we were asking, Diva wanted to know.
I sent it to her.
Oh, did she? Okay.
See if she has the right. See what she says, because I sent her what I think the answer is.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
ask
Diva
your
told
question.
me you remembered it. The AI that you would use for like photos and for doing your video. Because we're doing.
What's the app name?
Yeah, what's the app? The free app name, if you don't mind. Because I thought I took a screenshot of it the night we were talking about it with Shawnee, and I couldn't find it.
I sent her what I think it is, so I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah. David told me you did that. You remembered it, and I trust that you probably did. That when you are done growing such sweet potato, you should still plant that potato. Yeah. Yep. Well, I just like planting it. Sometimes it's a shortcut.
My plan for 25 is, I think, determined for me already. Teaching wonderful women to grow potatoes in big grain sacks. I got 10 bags of potting soil in my truck, and I'm gonna give it away.
Oh, that's wonderful.
For the what? I didn't hear. Sorry, I talked over you. Go ahead.
Oh, it's for the AI app that you use to help you, the free one to make different videos. She liked the AI picture that I did of myself, and I told her mine is PixArt, but you have to pay for it. And then I had to actually pay on top of that to have them do my AI pictures, which then I went back in. Yeah. And then I went back in to grab more, and they were gone out of the app. I was so mad. I was like, what? Where are they? So it was like
they're not in folder somewhere.
No, not the logo for doing the actual video. Like what you had told Shawnee and I before when Shawnee was saying some days she just might not feel like being in her videos. I was like, oh, well, Anne does that whole AI thing. Let's
Was
ask
it
Anne.
Vidnoz? Anne, was it VIDNOZ, Vidnoz?
Is
That
she
you
remembering
used?
the right one? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Hmm.
I should have just looked at what you sent her.
We're gonna wait for that answer.
I know.
do,
I'll
do,
just help.
do, do, do. What is this? A lot of people don't realize that sweet potato leaves are a tasty replacement for spinach. Yes.
I didn't. You really have to cook
Spinach is
them. I
yucky
think
though.
you got it. I don't know why
Vidnoz
I
to make long
I
videos into
I
shorts.
should have. Oh,
So
okay.
that might not be with the AI thing we're speaking about.
Yeah.
So you're looking for, I'm going to talk, but it's not going to be me. It's going to be an AI version of me. What is that app called?
Yeah.
Is that Vidnoz, Anne?
Vidnoz did have that AI version of yourself that talks. I don't know though how much they would actually. It says free, but then they're like, you get 10 minutes free.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sure, for the voice.
yeah, for the voice and yeah.
The heck was that?
Uh-oh.
Get the bat, Barry.
Yep, get the bat.
Sadly, it's at the other house.
Oh
Blasphemy.
no. Get the cats. Get
So
the
is your-
cats.
Yeah.
Just show up with a box of cats and throw the cats on them.
When people ask a question, we just try to provide an answer is all we're
Yeah,
trying
we're
to
just helping a friend, Kentucky
Uh,
Goblin.
You know, there's so much help.
Right, Duncan?
See you, Vay.
Yes,
Thanks for
Vivi.
stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, babe. Good night.
Waiting to see what Anne says.
We need to just hook you and Diva up and she can.
Like there isn't one answer. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're so good at that. Like, it's wild. Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah.
gardening goals with me. It's inspiring to hear about all the exciting resolutions you have for 2025. I truly believe that gardening can bring so much joy, creativity, and peace into our lives. And I'm excited to see what we all accomplish in the new year when we gather again. And yes, just wishing you all a very wonderful and happy, fruitful new year. And I hope 2025 brings you lots of success in your gardens and may your plants thrive and grow with you. Remember to grow every day in every way. Learn as you grow. See you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.